You guys are fucking ridiculous. We can't even get situated. You feel me? A minute, bro. We can't get situated a little bit. We can't even have a minute breathing room for you guys to give us a L host in the chat. If you guys watching this back on YouTube, we're live all the time at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Definitely try your best to pull up here so that you get your talking points off. But yeah, you guys spamming the L host already? Like, come on, bro, give us a break. Fuck. Well, Mars, you started that shit. I can't believe you.
I mean, I do it with Ron, I do it with JD. I do it to myself now. I'm just,
Shit, bro. It's just you can't even trust yourself. Who can you trust?
I don't
Your
know,
mom.
man. I
Your
don't know.
mom. Your mom. You can trust your mom. I love your mom. She's a great person. We gonna drop the StreamYard link in the chat, bro. Definitely pull up, bro. 27 people in here. Like the damn video. Don't ever forget that. Dell D. I thought that was Dell James. Wow. Thank you. I am a nasty guy. Oh man, I'm on some tomfoolery today, bro. How about you, Mars? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm not on any tomfoolery, I don't think, but I'm just here ready to talk basketball like always. Hopefully, no topics are not about basketball because that's not my forte, as we've seen.
Sir, yes, sir. So there's somebody here with an agenda today, and before we guys let you up, we're gonna air the way we feel about the take. That way you guys can come comment on it. Um, Winning bias, Mars. You hit me up about this winning bias agenda again, and you extremely hate it. So I want you to elaborate more on how you feel, man.
I think winning bias, for those who don't know, there's also a losing bias, but I'll go with outcome bias, a bias towards the outcome of games, series, those sort of things that will make you change the way you view a player individually. For me, I don't change the way I view a player based on a 7 game series. If you win or you lose, if you play poorly. That might be because you had a down series. The defense was catered to stop you, whatever the case may be. Me judging you based on simply wins and losses, for example, a James Harden, a Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Kevin Garnett in Minnesota, um, Allen Iverson to some degree. It's just a basic way of judging a player's impact, which to me doesn't make sense. For example, we all know how impactful Jokic was last year. He was a 6 seed. We all know how impactful he was. He lost in 5 games in the first round. A guy like John Morant made the second round. That doesn't mean he was more impactful than Jokic because he won a series. Because there's so many other circumstances beyond one player's contributions to the team that I can't just simply say if he played better, they would have won. Because we all know as a team sport, there's 5 people playing at one time. There's a coach. There's another 5 players geared to stop you. I can't just simply say it's all based on you whether or not your team wins or loses. And one person in particular who I think gets a bad end of the stick with this is James Harden. And the reason why I think that is because I know there's a lot of people who believe Allen Iverson is a better player than James Harden. And the whole reason why they believe he's better than James Harden is because of 2001 and him making the finals. That to me makes very little sense when you look at the fact that the Western Conference James Harden had to go through was much tougher than the Eastern Conference Allen Iverson had to go through. You also look at the teams they both lost to, the 01 Lakers and the 2018 Warriors. At worst, you can say they're equal standings of teams. At worst, Allen Iverson played the Lakers in the finals because he was in a different conference to them. James Harden had to play the Warriors in the Western Conference finals because he was in the same conference as them. Does that mean James Harden is now a worse player because he had to play the better team earlier on? I don't think so. That doesn't make sense to me. Allen Iverson beat the Pacers, who were like a 500 team, the Raptors, and the Bucks. The Bucks were a very good team. They had the best offense in the league. Allen Iverson beat all of those teams. You can argue he wasn't fantastic throughout that playoff run, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say he beat those teams and then lost to the Lakers in 5 games. James Harden made it to the Western Conference Finals, lost to the Golden State Warriors in 7 games when his second best player got hurt in game 6. And we're going to say that Allen Iverson's a better player simply because he made it one round further when he didn't have to play the all-time great team until the finals. That just sounds like something that someone who either A, doesn't understand context, B, doesn't want to understand context, or C, doesn't understand how the game of basketball works. And to me, those things Like, if I want to talk about basketball, I'm not going to talk with someone who just says this player won, this player lost, this player is better than that one. That doesn't make sense to me. No one was saying Dirk Nowitzki was better than LeBron in 2011, and if you were, I think you were a very dumb individual. So I just think winning bias is very overblown, and I think you can judge a player based on many more factors than simply winning or losing a game or a series, and that's why I hate winning bias.
I think the most important thing to look at is playing winning basketball. And when you're talking about, when I judge people in the playoffs, I look at performances and then I look at how defenses are to you. If I see a guy who's consistently James Harden, for instance, him and his whole entire career, he is a very inconsistent player in the playoffs. And that's my main reason on why I'm not really too sure about him. It's not because he's losing or winning. And if he would have won in 2018 with Chris Paul, I still would have felt that way about him because even in that 2018 series, he was very up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is I don't need James Harden to win or lose that ring in order for me to have that same type of opinion. And I feel as if James Harden did win that ring, a lot of people would just negated that and forgot about how inconsistent he is in the playoffs. He was like, you know what? He won a ring. It is what it is. He's that fucking guy. And that's what I disagree wholeheartedly about. And I think you touched upon it earlier. You said winning and losing bias. 100%. You're 100% right. People start overvaluing players because of winning, and then they start undervaluing players because of losing. And it's the stupidest thing to me. I think when we look at players, we just got to look at how they play winning basketball. How can they impact their teams to winning situations? And I think it's just a weak argument to go off against. Oh, this guy won more than this guy, then he's automatically better. It's just a stupid way to look at things. I like that you brought up Allen Iverson and James Harden. Me personally, I think those guys are real close to each other. But I got James Harden better than him because of the playmaking aspect of which he does. I think that's irreplaceable that Allen Iverson can't replicate. But still has nothing to do with the 201 finals. I think that's a dumb way to try to say that Allen Iverson is better. Um, we got a lot of people in the waiting room, man. You ready to open the floodgates?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, let's get it, bro. Got the first four in here. What's good, fellas? Natty, KD's burner. How you
Hi,
doing,
Dub.
artist?
Hi,
Lucas,
Dub.
how y'all
How you
doing today?
doing? Hi, Mars. Hi,
Doing great.
Mars.
Hello.
Hey, yo,
no.
pause.
No, that's my dude, man. Brody, I fuck with Mars, bro. Nah,
Y'all been up here spitting lately, bro.
Yep, everything, no lies so far.
Spitting.
Put y'all salutes up, man. I appreciate the love, bro. We
I
starting
don't
the wave. We starting the wave, bro.
Make context
I don't like. I
matter
don't like. I don't
again.
know. I don't
Make
like that. I don't like that. I don't
context
like
matter
that. That little
again.
picture at the
Make
start, man. You
context
put
matter
Magic.
again.
You put Magic Kareem there, man. I don't know, man. We might have to toss him. I don't know, bro. I
No,
don't
Dub,
like that.
good. Exactly.
Why you put them, bro? Like you could put somebody else. Nah,
You want to know why? You want? I put them for a precise reason.
I know why. I know why. I got you. I'm here with you. I know.
My main reasoning is I think Kobe and Shaq is the best duo of all time. Right? I don't need rings to validate that. I think
would.
Kobe and Shaq, they dominated with a less supporting cast. They dominated in a tougher conference as well. So me, in my opinion, even though that Magic and Kareem won 5 rings, I think Kobe and Shaq and their 3 rings together was way more impressive than what they did together. With a lesser supporting cast.
I don't know that weak ass them weak ass final wins. I don't know.
The finals wins was I'm not gonna lie, the finals comp was trash, but the West I think
that
one
was
of the toughest Western conference I've ever seen in my life. You know,
I
don't really think it was them either because Kobe wasn't at his apex at the time. So
but Kobe was still average.
It's not about averaging though.
Go ahead.
In 2000 he wasn't. I think in 2001 and 2002 he.
Go ahead.
The thing that pisses me off about like people say, Shaq won those rings. I was like, dude, Kobe was probably the best player in the West Conference final in the West final in the playoffs. He was probably the best player in the playoffs.
Very debatable.
He matched up better with the Spurs.
Because they had no guards. They had no guards at the time. And then when they got
I think Shaq still opened up the floor to let Kobe.
He did. He did. But I'm saying like he was still like holding his own. Yeah, Spurs just didn't have no guards until 03, and then we know what happened.
When you look at Kobe and Shaq and their years together, 2000, I can't even argue 2000 Kobe was on the same level as Shaq. I mean, Shaq
no. Oh, Shaq,
when you look at everything besides the finals between the statistics between Kobe and Shaq, I think Kobe might have a slight edge on him, or they're right there next to each other.
You know, you said last time I was on here, and you said I've been thinking about it since I got back on here. You said Kevin Garnett in Minnesota play winning basketball, and at first I'm like, what the hell? How you gonna lose? That's I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that the whole week. You said that. I'm like, what the hell is that? That don't make no. That's like me going in boxing and having a killer knockout, killer punch, and I never knock nobody out with it.
Well,
I don't
boxing's
know.
different because it's an
No, because
individual.
boxing's an
analogy,
individual
but I'm just
sport.
saying. But the thing
Think about it
about
like this. Think about it like this. We're working together, right? Me and you are
Go ahead.
working together,
talk to me.
and we're all working in a group to accomplish a goal.
Right.
I am stepping up to the plate. I'm doing everything that I can, everything
Right.
that I possibly could.
Talk to
I
me.
have people working against me as well, who's game planning against me, but I'm still able
Mhm.
to, perform and try my best to put us and our
Mhm.
team in a position to win. But we fail, and we fail mainly because everybody around me doesn't have the same talent or capabilities of myself.
Okay, so let me elaborate on that. So the difference there's no difference between LeBron and before I say this, I don't want nobody to think that they're as good as him because they're not. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, LeBron, their play styles are literally the same thing. They're all the same. I'm talking about in like terms of like the system that they run. It's give the ball to them, let them do whatever they want. That's not winning basketball. That's why LeBron didn't win when he came back in 17 and 18. That's why Russell doesn't win. That's why Harden doesn't win. I like Harden more than Allen Iverson because his playoff performances are better than AI's. If you look at AI after 01, he didn't even make. I don't even think he made like a conference finals. So
I think
at all.
Right,
Who was winning
right.
in 17 and 18?
Huh?
Who was winning in 17
Yeah,
and
that's
18?
what I was gonna say. Who was gonna
win?
Well, they could have won game one. Come on now.
Wait, hold on. Why?
That wouldn't have changed anything though.
What?
No,
why
but what
does-
I'm saying is
How does it?
the style of play that he had wasn't even gonna give them a chance to even win.
But they won.
They went to game 7.
No,
What
I'm
do you
talking
mean
about.
they didn't?
I thought you were talking about LeBron. I'm sorry. I'm talking about.
Are you talking about
Well,
Harden?
if the Warriors hypothetically didn't exist, LeBron or James Harden
Yeah,
would have won that
they
year.
would have won.
One of them would have won. Which
And
means,
LeBron won in 2016 playing his brand of basketball.
Yeah,
That's
which means
not
the point of them not winning. I mean, one of them would have won if the best team ever didn't exist. One of them would have won.
Yo, mods, work on that. But that's an amazing burn. I love it.
I
like people. I love people who be nut rotting me, bro. It's hilarious.
Someone goes
I hope
crazy.
he's still watching this too.
Let me get him out of there. Let me see.
But I don't really. I genuinely. But the way that if the Warriors just played like, give me the ball and move out the way like that kind, I think they would have lost because the reason why I think the Warriors are so great to me is not even the star power; it's the way that they score. Everybody scores. Isaiah Thomas said this. Everybody scores at least 3 or 2 options. They free throws, layups, 3-pointers. Warriors use all 5, and it's so hard because it's such a such a free flowing basketball.
So
like
to go back to your point in which you said about Kevin Garnett, sometimes in the situation you're a part of, you can't afford to play off the people around you because I understand that the talent which I have is not up to par. Tracy McGrady, for instance, when he blew the 3-1 lead, his numbers were amazing, and he was the main guy making things happen because there wasn't really that many guys on his team to make things work out. KG is a good example of that as well. Luka Doncic a couple years ago against the Clippers. I think Luka Doncic is capable of allowing people to be themselves. The issue is when you're trying to win and you're trying
the system ain't working.
when you're trying to win and you understand that the guys around you aren't up to par, you have to make a decision, either put ourselves in what I think is the best position to win, which is play through me, or allow these guys to essentially fail and put us in a worse losing situation than before.
And I agree with you, Mars. Oh my God, the more I've been watching Luka this season, I just don't like the brand of basketball. Like the more I watch, like I was watching that Orlando game, not Orlando, against who they just play last after their Orlando loss. Wizards. And I was just watching him force. When Dinwiddie has the hot hand, I'm like, come on, bro. Like you gotta
That-
feel that stuff out. But it depends on the type of player. Like I think LeBron is the only exception where that break LeBron or Harden where like they showcased it.
Harden don't got a plan. Harden don't have a plan B. LeBron has a plan B. That's the difference between Russ, Harden. Russ and Harden, when they were like the main guys on their team, they only had one plan. Russ was catch it 100 miles an hour, let's go, and then it ran out. Harden is, dribble, chicanery, fouls.
LeBron just has a way to translate his playoff. I mean, his
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah. I was just,
you can't stop LeBron in the playoffs.
This is random as hell, but I was watching like the shift between when he lost in the finals of 2011 and when he played in 2012. It's such a different LeBron. He's just such a different player. Like, I don't know. It's just cool to see. But
Mars, this is for you, bro.
but oh my god. Yo, no, but
Listen, tickets all love, man. If y'all really think it's beef between him and Mars,
no,
it's all
I don't
love.
think so.
Understand
I don't
that.
think so. I think the winning. I like what Mars and you both do about arguments of basketball because I think I may be speculating. That's the word. Okay, that I think Mars when he talks about basketball arguments, he don't want to just be like, well, let's talk about accolades. Let's talk about what their game is, and I like that because I feel like just talking about stats, it takes the like the love out of basketball. You know what I mean? Like just watching the game. Like go watch a game instead of, looking at like just looking at, basketball reference and I mean I feel like we all are gonna disagree about something, about anything. Like me and Dove, every time I've been on here it's about Magic and I'm like, no, I don't agree. But I can't sit here and tell me wrong because I can look him blue in the face like this and be like, hey, Dub, you wrong about Magic. But I see where he comes from because he's just like, well, I don't think that way. And I understand it. And the same way about Dub. I mean, Mars. Like, I understand how he thinks. Do I disagree with most of it? No. But I think, that's just life, really. I think just me, I don't want to go on like a little rant. Like, I kind of got out of the sphere of like, because I used to watch basketball like all the time, knew all the history. I still know a lot of history in the back of my hand, but it just came to a point where there's just people who just say like the dumbest stuff without like I said, like no context, and I don't know.
I got you. How about everybody else? Yeah, KD, what you got to say?
Nah, you already know how I feel about the accolades discussion and winning bias. I made a video about it earlier. Some people don't understand that you can be a great player, contribute in a winning way, and still not win. Because hypothetically speaking, if D Wade gets hurt in those Miami title runs, is LeBron winning a ring? No.
They have a great. Wait, which one? You don't think they win in 2012?
I mean, regardless, but like just hypothetically speaking, if they don't go on to win those
we
rings,
don't know.
LeBron James plays the same way. That
We
doesn't
do know.
change him as a basketball player.
I don't like to. Well, for me personally, I don't like to use what if. Well, they didn't happen, so it didn't. Well, give me an example of what you said. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying it as a way to compare them.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you give me an example of like you say like a winner, but like you come up short? Can you give me an example of that?
A winner,
like your first example. I'm sorry.
So somebody who contributes in
a Give me an example.
Jokic.
I mean, we brought up KG in the Timberwolves. I mean, you put them in. You plug them in a system with Paul Pierce, a great scorer, Ray Allen, another great off-ball mover, and a point guard, and he elevates that team to one of the best defenses at the time. Like,
I agree. I think it's more of your role. Basketball to me is all about the role that you play. You know what I mean? So I think KG fit better. Like Mars think he got worse, but I believe that he got his role on the Celtics was better than him being the main guy. Some guys cannot be the main guy on a team. That's just how it is.
What does main guy mean?
Yeah, that's what
I mean. Like you're the best player. Like you're the go-to guy.
Kevin.
So the best player is always the person who's the go-to guy.
Well, I mean, like the offense runs through him. Like how LeBron is, or like Kobe was, or somebody like that is what I mean. That's what I mean. I apologize.
Can I ask a
So
question?
not
the offensive scoring number one option. That's what you're saying.
No, like just to me, like the best player to me, or the guy they go to.
So
like
who was the best player on the Celtics?
on the Celtics? That's a hard.
Don't. I don't know if that's a hard one.
I mean, I think KG was.
I think it's pretty
Yeah,
tough.
I was gonna say that him or Paul, but I can see what you. I can see
people ran with that Paul Pierce thing because
it's because he won the finals. And
Yeah.
I like
Finals.
but I like Paul, man. I don't know. People be disrespectful.
I like Paul Pierce as well.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
the
I'm
second
just
best player on the
saying.
team.
They be acting like he trash. I'm like, man, hey. But
there's a
And I
way
mean-
to support someone without overhyping what they did.
yeah, I think for me, like when people say Dwayne was underrated, no, he ain't underrated. He's like the number 3. That's not underrated.
I wanna go back to Katie's point before though, talking about Dwayne Wade being hurt and him.
Mhm.
What was you gonna say more? Elaborate more on that point in which you made.
No, I was gonna say, like, hypothetically speaking, not saying it happened, but like if Dwayne Wade gets hurt and the Miami Heat aren't able to win championships, did LeBron James change as a player? People's perceptions would change about LeBron if he wasn't able to win in Miami.
Yes,
But he didn't change as a player, which is kind of weird to me.
I think he did. I think he did. I think.
No, I agree.
No,
let
he's
him
saying,
Oh, I'm
he's
sorry,
saying,
I'm
he's
sorry,
saying
I'm sorry,
imagine
my bad.
Dwayne Wade got hurt in the
My fault.
finals and they
My
lost
fault.
to the Spurs and OKC.
Yeah.
LeBron is still the same player, but because of circumstances out of his control, he didn't
Okay.
win.
Oh
People
yeah.
view
Okay,
him
my bad.
in a
My
worse
apologies.
light.
Apologies.
Or like, let's say Ray Allen doesn't hit that shot. A lot of people, with LeBron only having 3 rings, a lot of people wouldn't have LeBron in the GOAT debate. A lot of people wouldn't even have LeBron top 3. Some people wouldn't even have him top 5. But since Ray Allen saved his career by hitting that shot, now we look at LeBron differently. That doesn't make sense to me.
I think because
I smell somebody cooking.
I do see like what people say. I said this to them before. I said a lot of times I feel like we have all these arguments because of who we talk to. So they'll be like, hey, LeBron is Michael's the GOAT because he has 6 rings.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like no context to it. Then I'll literally hear somebody in the woodwork, well, Bill Russell, like, I mean, I don't really care, but you gotta have some sort of, to me, Michael to me, and I said this and I didn't make sense. I made it because I was like, well, Kobe. Michael to me, Michael and Isaiah to me are the only 2 people that won without a dominant big man. If you look at like Kobe, Magic, Bird, well, Bird was a big man, but Kevin, but they won without a dominant big
2013
man.
Heat.
Well, yeah, LeBron, stuff like that. So LeBron,
Draymond Green's a dominant big man now, I guess.
you said who?
Draymond Green must be a dominant big man now.
Yeah, because I'm like,
oh, my Steph. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
you're naming quite a lot of players
in that
now.
era, I'm sorry. In that era.
You're naming quite a lot of players.
Yeah, in that era, like the the big man era. So
okay.
yeah.
So
So
Wiseman once he wins this year, so we'll have a
Oh,
down.
God forbid.
Lucas and Natty, tap in, bro.
You said
He
what?
can go.
Tap in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've agreed with everything I said. I think a great way that Mars said it was outcome bias is what I was talking about a lot. But I saw when I read the title and it said winning bias. How about how do you guys feel about people when I wouldn't call it losing bias, but so if another person wins, they'll say that person only won because he has this and that and that. And I feel like that's the dumbest way to argue basketball possible. And I don't know the word for it, but it comes up every day. And I'm just tired of that.
Are you saying so you saying how, I'm just gonna, it's just me. I might be wrong, but so say when they say oh well he only won because he had this many players and blah blah, it's kind of like how they say KD only won because he had this,
kind of like that, but
yeah,
it's like they're doing math.
I don't like that either, but
with
that's
players. It's like when let's say when the Warriors won, be like,
right.
oh, okay, Luka's still better because if he had this and this, and this person.
Oh yeah,
did
yeah. I
this.
see what you're saying. If you
Like-
add this amount of scoring, or
Like people,
they do that with AI
Exactly.
too. They do that.
people
Like,
just and they forget about all of
if
history.
you add the 20 points per game scored, then
Yes.
technically they would
No,
have
that's
just
not
enough scoring.
It comes from people not understanding basketball.
Exactly.
How team dynamics work.
That's what. That's why.
If you add
That's
another
why,
20-point per game scorer to AI, that means you're taking
Yeah,
the
that's-
ball away from him.
they already did
Because
that.
you're changing
They
his
did that in the
game. But
Nuggets.
like,
They did that with
people
Denver,
don't
and they
understand
still went
it.
out the first round.
Like they
Oh my
love doing that.
AI to me, AI and Russ are so similar just in terms of I like what Russ is doing now, but AI, they will never change their play style to win. And that is something that you have to do. For me personally, and I said this to Dub about Chris Paul, and I said he needs to change his play style. He needed to change his play style because it's like I said, it's not I think it is about winning, but it's about your role that you play. That
How did
role
he
might
need to
not
change
be.
his play?
He needs to change his hamstrings. That's what he needs to change.
He needs to change his body. Like he
Nah, he's
changed
fat.
his play style.
Well, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
like before. I'm saying like in his prime. You know, I'm saying like
In his prime, he was
I
getting.
do feel like he plays it safe sometimes in the postseason though. That's something.
He got anxiety. He got anxiety.
Like the only thing I criticize of Chris Paul. And Dub, you don't know how angry I was. I
Anxiety.
was on vacation and I saw you pushing the CP agenda.
Nah, the CP3 was
And
nasty.
I could not fight back. I was like, wait till I get home.
Man,
It's like it's whatever. But it was.
I
for me personally, just how
CP3
honestly how I grew up is like, for me, like how I watched basketball like growing up is like how I cannot look at somebody and say, well, they were, the best player or whatever, and they like lose. You know what I mean? Because it's like, for me, winning does matter, but I understand like why people, put it in a different spectrum, just because that's all they'll base it on, like just rings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
big
kind of
example.
for me personally,
Go ahead,
never
Daddy. Go ahead, Daddy. Hold up,
Oh,
bro.
my
A
bad.
Daddy,
big
what you gonna
example
say?
of this. A big example of this. Mars, just like you, I was pushing that Fox agenda over Ja before last year, and like that year happened, and now it's like okay, Fox and Shy, and now I see all those takes coming back now that like they're winning, and like the Grizzlies aren't like what they were at least last year or expected to be, and it's like how does one season just change it all like for you? I never understood that.
Different
Like,
circumstances. They're in way different circumstances.
What you got to say, Lucas?
I mean, it's kind of just narrative based. So like whatever people want to hear or whatever people like want to believe, they're gonna see it. And if they see something they don't believe or don't want to hear, they're just gonna scroll past it. You know what I mean? So anytime they see something that goes against their point, they're not even gonna like acknowledge it. So it's basically, if you say it, the people that don't believe it, they're just gonna see it and go on anyway.
So
Can
I? Oh, go ahead. My bad.
You're
Lucas.
good. No, you're good. Go on.
No, I want you to answer first. So I'm glad that you guys brought up Chris Paul. I want to ask you guys this. Natty, you just highlighted this. One season can change everything.
facts.
And this is just a hypothetical, just for an understanding of where people would think. This is not me saying Chris Paul's on this level because of this hypothetical. This is just more of an understanding.
Mhm.
If Chris Paul wins this year, how drastic do you think the change will be for his overall career? If he
Not that
wins the
much.
title this year,
A lot, because I remember even in 2020 when they were playing the Bucks, the agendas people were ready to push if he won when they were up 2-0, and I saw the energy switch just like that. It was so quick. So that I can admit, even though I don't really like CP, that's just what people do these days.
I wouldn't. He wouldn't change that much for me. He would probably still be around. He's around like top 5 to me.
His all-time PG spot wouldn't change for you guys
Not
at all.
No.
would it
He
change
would-
for you? Would it change for you?
He's set at like 5 for me.
I wouldn't
He's
change
at
at all.
5. He's at
Probably
like
not.
5. He's not. He's
Probably
still.
not.
He still wouldn't be better than Isaiah, Zeke.
I'd probably put him over Isaiah.
Magic,
I'd
Or,
probably-
He's been better.
Steph.
He's been better than Isaiah for like 5 years, man.
Yeah.
I disagree.
He's
I want to
better
say
than
that, but
Isaiah.
you get hate when you say that shit.
Yeah, because Isaiah has 2 rings.
I don't mind
That's
that though.
the
I don't
only
mind
reason.
it. No, I don't mind it though. I take Gary Payton over Chris Paul. That's just me. And
Huh?
What?
yeah, I take old Gary. I said
If
it.
Ron was here right now, he'd be riding with you. That's
Based on
Anyways,
what? Based on what?
I like. I just like GP a little bit better. I think I like GP a little bit better for me. But I understand why. But I get why you say Chris Paul. I'm not mad if you tell me like Chris Paul. Okay, that's fair. It's fair. I just But I had to really sit down and like think about it. But off the top of my head, I'd take GP over Chris Paul. But
What you
if I
about
had
to say,
to sit,
KD? What you about to say, KD?
No, I was gonna say like it's just funny because like you saying going back to 2021, the narratives were, oh yeah, he's about to be officially the point guard. Like he's about to have that title. And then as soon as they lost, he's never being the point guard. He
yeah,
can never be. Like I
now the
was like,
Bucks, now the
damn.
Bucks, now the Bucks ain't play nobody. Now the Bucks suck and
I was
stuff
having
like
the
that.
time of my
I was
life.
like,
I was
damn.
having the time of my life watching all that CP hate. I was just sitting back.
Like he ain't,
Nah, I don't hate
like he
CP3.
ain't go up against Giannis Antetokounmpo
I
in
was
his
like,
prime while
bro,
he's
y'all
out
were
of his
just
prime.
saying he was the
Exactly.
point guy. And now he's not the point guard no more.
I think he's
And
a great
and that's why
floor general.
and
He's
and
a
that's
great floor
why
general.
and that's why I disagree with that way of thinking dramatically. And me and my
Mhm.
personal opinion, him winning a ring, if you could say he could move up a couple more spots for you, I could understand that. Like Lucas, you
Yeah.
just said he might go over
Mhm.
Isaiah Thomas, so I'm guessing that they're pretty close to each other, correct?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
So
are. They're all in the
I could
same.
understand
Yeah.
that way of thinking.
Yeah.
But when you're literally saying what Katie just said, you went from the point guard to he's a fucking playoff choker.
So
that is the weirdest and craziest shift
yeah.
change that I see, and I don't understand and I don't get it and I
I
hate
have
it.
so going on that. Where did so LeBron 2011? That's like the biggest
Choke
like
job.
change. Yeah. Did your opinion change on him or did it like stay the same?
I was
Well,
even
no,
talking
well, I go
I
off
had
of
I had never watched a live.
Oh,
basketball
okay. You
at
know
that
what's
point.
crazy?
Yeah.
I was Mars, you 19, right? 19.
no
That's what the
15.
people believe.
No
That's
15.
what
He should
whatever you believe I am.
I'm
that's what it is.
okay, so I'm like 20. I'm 21. So you probably around my age. I literally was watching. I'm like, man, I know I was like 10 or I was like 11, 10. I was like, yeah, they finna lose. I already knew they was gonna lose. I even watching it back like now because I watched the playoffs like the Celtics. They were that place that they were bound to lose. The way they were playing, because it'd be one series where like Wade is just trash. Like that Bull series, he was not good.
So
And then
to answer your question, I was a Heat fan back in that time.
I got my
Oh,
Heat
so
jersey in
you still are.
You're not a
Then.
Heat
So
fan?
no, I mean
still
like
are.
that's because he asked me if my opinion changed. So
Yeah.
so
Well, I was saying
wait, hold on,
I
wait. Do you want me to answer your question first?
oh yeah,
Or?
go my bad. I'm
Okay.
sorry, my bad. Before.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
when LeBron James lost in 2011, I didn't think that he wasn't one of the best players in the world. I still thought he was one of the best players in the world, top 3 for sure. I just believe that he fucked up. Like he fucked up. Like it is what it is. You gotta take that on the chin. Now, if he would have continued that, that's when we're like, okay, this is a level of consistency. Now this is becoming who he is in general, and that's who he is as a player. Not because he's losing, is the fact that he's folding under the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But 2012 happened, 2013 happened. Even if he would have lost in 2013, I thought he stepped up to the plate. I thought he
2014.
A bigger
yeah, 2013 when they
I
went
think
to
I
Game
think
7
LeBron
against
just
the
improved
Spurs.
his game from
Oh,
2011 to
oh,
2012.
you
That's
saying?
what I
Oh, I
think.
thought you talking about when he
a
lost.
better
Okay. I'm
question
sorry, my
to
bad.
ask would be did your perception on Dirk change? Because a lot of people were like, I think Mars said it on the last episode. A lot of people are talking about how Dirk was a playoff choker, especially from that 2007 series when he lost to the AC the Warriors. But in my opinion, Dirk got better as a player after that series. 2011,
I
he just
agree.
won the ring. He got better after that series, but the perception of Dirk only changed after the 2011 series, which is weird. Once again,
Do y'all watch Open Court? Y'all remember that show?
I used to.
Hey, nah, they were talking about that they were talking about like the top 50, then they were gonna add like the next 10, and they were talking about honorable mentions. They put Dirk on there, and then they put Vince Carter. And Kenny Smith said, "Well, if he won a ring, he would have been on there." He said, "That's why Dirk's on there." So I see like what y'all mean.
Mhm.
I would probably take Dirk over Vince still, but I'm just but just
Would y'all
like
take a prime? Would y'all take a prime T Mac or like a peak T Mac or a peak Dirk?
can y'all
Peak Dirk.
No,
can y'all
I'm taking Dirk, but
Yeah.
T-Mac
No
is
elaborate
fucking
on this, like,
way.
T-Mac was
Dirk.
different, but Dirk.
nah,
Dirk
T-Mac was cold, but like,
Can y'all elaborate with me like how I don't get the hype around T-Mac. Just me personally, just
Bitches do
because
it all.
he's raw, but it's
That's
like
my
I
boy.
don't know, like
Go watch.
I think
Go
he
watch
was,
the 03 highlights.
yeah, I
and
think he was great as a raw talent. I don't think he gets like overhyped or anything. I feel like people just say his career was what it was, and if he had a little bit more luck with health and
Didn't he
stuff.
play? Wait, before he got hurt, didn't he play like 7 years or something like that? I may
Yeah,
be wrong.
he had like 01 or 02 to like 08, I want to say something like that.
So what's man? People be saying, "Yo, what if?" I'm like, man, you already played like 8 years. What if
He's
you
a what
need?
if because he
There's
was
still a
never
what
in
if because you
good
could have done more.
situation.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he definitely could have done more.
because if
And
he only
plus,
had
like,
six,
oh,
the first six
I
years,
I thought
I know
they
a lot
meant
of
like all
his
his
later
like
seasons were injury riddled too.
yeah. How good? This is like weird, but I know it's like kind of. I just been thinking about it. How honestly good do you think Derrick Rose would have been if he didn't get injured? Like I've been really thinking about that.
2011 would have been his best year.
Yeah, 2012, he didn't even make All NBA team.
damn.
I didn't even know that. Like the year after MVP, he didn't even make all because the All NBA was Chris Paul.
I don't know.
Westbrook.
I don't know. I don't
I
know
think
how good
Rondo
he.
made it that year.
I don't know
Yeah.
how good he could have been because I don't know what type of improvements he could have made. He could have became
Yeah.
a better shooter. He could have improved upon his game and
And
relied
you
less on
know,
his athleticism.
and like I said
Smarter
about the
player. I don't
roles,
know.
and the thing about the roles was I think he played better in his first. He played more consistently in terms of like scoring and all that in his first 2 years than his MVP season because his role changed. He went from like the playmaker, secondary scorer because Ben Gordon was like the primary scorer, I believe, and then he went because his field goal percentage dipped down. Like he went from like 48 and like 47 to like 45, 44. But that's because the scoring load became bigger. I, I
Hey,
don't think they would.
Lucas and Natty. What do you guys think D Rose would have ranked if he never got hurt? Then we're gonna
I
start
mean,
moving.
bro,
All time?
I would kind
Just
of
how much better do you think he could have became? What were you saying,
I
Natty?
feel like he would have stayed in that same trajectory, just small minor improvements over time. Like, because I feel like what we got in his MVP year, that was gonna be him. Like he would obviously made finer adjustments and stuff like that, but I feel like he was closer to his peak early. So I feel like his mid range was already solid at the time. I feel like his 3-point wasn't great, but like I just feel like the only small finer adjustments he would have made was on his shooting, and he would have had that same caliber type of play for the next like 3 to 4 or 5 years. That's what I think in my opinion. I mean he was killing it at the time, so I can't hate.
It was
Lucas.
25, 8 and 4 or something, right? That was
Yeah,
the stat.
MVP
26, 8 and 4.
25, 7, 4, I believe.
You guys think he could have averaged like 28, 9 and 6 or something? Do you think he could have averaged that?
As possible. If he was in a heavily defensive team. I mean, like especially back then, the offensive load. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what his usage rate was, but I know it wasn't crazy. I mean, they had a well-rounded team and stuff like that. But now, especially nowadays, you got like guards controlling the pace of the game the whole game. So I definitely think if he had that type of role, he could easily average that 28 plus mark. So
I mean, the pace just got faster. He probably would have got more points just on the fact
Yeah,
that more possessions.
No, he would've.
I don't think it means he's a better player.
That's why I say.
How about you, KD? How about you?
I mean, like they were saying, I think it was one of those cases where we seen the best of D Rose, but that's probably his peak as a player. Like he said, finer adjustments throughout the years, probably a better shot, but I don't think it's like something where we would have seen like Derrick Rose explode into one of the greatest players of all time. Like I think he just blossomed at the right time.
Gotcha. So we're gonna get some new string of guests on, bro. Appreciate you guys for taking the time out y'all day. Love the b-ball
Appreciate it.
talks. Y'all be easy, fellas.
Hey,
Y'all
watch the CP agenda, bro. Cool it.
If they win this year, I'm having all y'all back on the show. All of y'all. I gotta see where your heads is at.
All right.
Make
That'd be
context matter.
They
Again.
not, but it's okay.
Make context matter again.
Context matter.
I'm gonna tell Jay to make the TikTok.
Putting listen. I didn't put all my hope in CP3 all them years in them Clippers. I'm done doing it. I ain't putting my hope in.
Wow,
Oh,
the
yeah.
hate is
There we
strong
go.
with you. We gotta let
That's
you go
crazy.
now.
Peace, man.
Be safe, Lucas.
You
Take care.
too, man.
Yeah, it's such a W conversation, bro. What's
I
good,
enjoyed
fellas?
that.
Yeah, it was awesome. What's up, fellas? How y'all feeling today, bro?
That was awesome, Dub. I'm doing good, Dub.
What was not awesome about it, man? You
It
didn't
was
like that?
What?
buffoonery.
Not that far.
So,
I'll let you
You
know.
said what happened?
it was a real buffoonery spoke in that conversation. You know,
Like Gary Payton over Chris Paul.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
one of them.
we all got our nasty take. I know you got some nasty takes too, real take. What's your nasty take? The nasties of the nasty.
You know what? I do. Some people think this take I have right now is a little nasty, but to me, I think Tatum right now is play in the world.
Does
Behind-
somebody have somebody singing in their background?
yeah.
Who is that?
Somebody singing.
Yes,
That was my side. My bad.
Oh, just be mindful of that, bro. My bad, real talk. Just had to clarify that. What was you about to say?
I said I believe right now Jason Tatum is the third best basketball player in the world, only behind Giannis and Steph Curry. I think he clears Luka right now. He clears Jokic, Embiid. He's clearing all of them right now. If you look at Luka right now, you know, I think we're getting the gist on Luka. You know, he has more offensive variety to his game, but he's essentially James Harden. You know, volume heliocentric players, so they're going to have great statistics. That's just going to happen. But if you look at Tatum right now, it also though because Dub, I tend to disagree with you about Luka letting other people get off. I believe if Luka had another star quality playmaker on his team, that then takes the ball out of his hands, right? And so my question as far as an overall basketball play is, if Luka doesn't have the ball in his hands, what value is he providing you on the court? I believe Jason Tatum is a better off-ball player than him. He's right now, I think he's averaging like a 30 ball on damn near 65% true shooting. And then it gives you that defensive value. So yeah, I think Curry's been playing like 2016 Curry, so that's crazy. And Giannis is Giannis, but outside of that, I think JT is number 3 right now, and I think it's time to put some respect on that man's name.
So you don't see times in the game that the reason why I was saying letting people get off. I see a ton of times where I do see what the off-ball talks, because a lot of times he'll just stand there. He'll let Spencer Dinwiddie and Tim Hardaway like have the ball and do what they got to do, but he's not really moving off the ball. So I understand that point. But I see him a lot of the times sharing the rock between those two, and that's my point. I see him sharing the rock. No,
I mean, I think he can let like Spencer Dinwiddie can get off, yes, but what I'm saying is like while Spencer is doing that, what if Luka doesn't have the ball?
he
What
doesn't do shit.
providing you?
I understand that point.
I
So-
see. I want to answer that because I'm a huge Tatum guy, and like, and you make a good point. The only thing is that the Tatum that we seeing right now, this is like the first time we see him kind of like break out like into this very efficient, high like 30 points per game type player with the two-way game that he has as a defender. If he continues this, I think he would definitely have the argument over Luka. Luka, he's been like the way he's been playing and the production he's been putting up. He's shown that he can sustain that for like what this going on like 4 or 5 years playing at this high level. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of make a good argument because the way if Tatum continues at this level of high scoring, great efficiency, and great defense, he's gonna have an argument to be in that top 5. He just gotta continue it.
Plus, real quick, I'll just ask you, and I ask anybody in the chat, what version of player leads to championships? Historically speaking, I'm gonna say that the 6'8", 6'6" plus wing that can score on all 3 levels and plays, defense on an all defensive level, typically wins championships over a guy that's 34, 9-9 for a regular season. Typically, the winning player is the Jason Tatum player. So, you know, that's what I'm betting on. Like I said, even really to me, the argument was last year when Tatum was 27 and those efficiency efficiency numbers weren't there. The only thing I think JT can sustain this because number one, the man comes back better every year. So
Facts.
every year he gets better. So to me, right now, he's just playing better because he got better over the summer as he usually does. Whereas Luka at this point is going to, we know what Luka is. Luka's going to be anywhere from, he's going to be 28, 29, 9 and 9. That's going to be Luka. So
I don't want
and
to just take those
Nope.
numbers for granted though, because if that was easy, like anybody could just
no, I'm not saying
go
he's
get those
trash.
numbers.
I'm not saying he's trash. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
I feel you.
Nobody disagrees with this because this is like one of the craziest things I've heard.
This is the second person I've heard say Jason Tatum's top 3. I'm surprised that because I thought like it was a one-off.
I
but
disagree
would-
with this. I don't think
I know
Tatum's better than
I
Jokic or
understand
Luka.
it because I'm not as high on Luka as like the main population, and it's for those reasons. I don't think you win playing like this. I've never been high on this play style. I don't think you can sustain this. I don't think it will work in terms of winning. I just don't know if, like, for me, my issue is Jason Tatum over Jokic. I think Jokic is just a better player than Jason Tatum. But if you want to say Jason Tatum is better than Luka, I see the argument. Like, I completely understand it. I just don't know if I'm ready to go over that side yet. But I understand that. I just don't think Jason Tatum's in my top 3. I also think KD is just being completely left out of this conversation, which is kind of weird to me. But
What
No,
the
for
fuck?
sure.
You're switching up now?
I don't.
no, because I think it's funny that he said Tatum's top 3 and he said he's over Embiid.
But
Luka,
I would say Tatum, if you would make like
Jokic, but he
a
didn't say
super
KD.
early MVP like voting, he will be third. Like I will put Giannis, I would go Luka, then I would go Tatum. That's how great he's been playing. But like the thing with Tatum, like all these other players that you name, Mars, like Jokic, KD, Luka, Giannis, Steph, that's 5 right there. They've shown the ability to sustain this high superstar level of play, and it's like the first time we've seen Tatum in this realm. Like last year, he was really good, first team All NBA, but the level he's playing at now, that's the level that I want to see as a fan of him, and for him to reach that top 5 and to be a superstar player on the championship team, like that's got to be sustained for me to leapfrog him over those guys.
I agree. I have to see this. This is what 12 games. I need to see this sustained. But if he stays like this, I think he has a case to be in the top 5. But I don't know about top 3 for me.
My only argument to this would be because I guess this is going to show my winning bias, right? Because we're talking about this right now, right? But I do think winning just does, it has to account for something. So he's already been, his rookie year, he was the go-to player for a team that reaches the conference finals and takes LeBron James in 2018 to 7 games, right? Like I said, I think he had kind of like a sophomore slump, but they've been to like the Eastern Conference Finals, what, 3 out of the last 5 or 4 of the last 5 years. Now last year he reaches the final. Okay, he has a disappointing finals, but also that year he was 27 a night. He was first team All NBA, and then started playing at all defensive, levels last year. And to me, this is I think this is going to be like his 2016, 2016 Steph year. Although like 2015 Steph won the championship, but it was kind of like everybody's kind of like, LeBron, people hurt, yada yada yada, and then Steph just came out and went crazy. I think this is gonna be like JT's 2016 Steph year, where he like, I think he just leaves it to no doubt that he's that kind of player. And another player that has finally got his respect, getting his respect this year, is Donovan Mitchell. I've always hated the Rudy Gobert was the best player in Utah arguments. It was always foolish to me. I think offensive engines will always be valued more than strictly a rim protector. And so now we see You take that rim protection to Minnesota, cool. Donovan is still over here 28 a night, and it's effective.
I
So
think that's a great prediction
yeah,
of
it's revenge season for a few players that I like this season, and I'm loving seeing it. Donovan, JT, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Didn't
sir.
JT have Didn't JT have a good season last year though as well?
Yeah.
Like,
I
have you
know.
seen him play at this
Not even
level before?
terrible this season. Not like this.
Yeah, he wasn't playing like this.
He
Not
didn't
this.
start off. He didn't start off like this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he was
But
ending like
his
this.
peak last year was somewhat. It looked like this somewhere, right?
hmm
And
Yeah,
so
from,
you
like,
think
January.
he'll sustain his peak the full season?
Yeah, I
Because when
do.
you,
That's
I
what he has
think
to do.
I think Luka has a better
I
chance
think Tatum's
at
problem
his
is
level
inconsistency.
than JT does keeping it at his level.
Tatum, you
Yeah,
said Tatum.
Tatum. To me, Tatum's problem has always been consistency. So if he could
Yeah.
stay consistent at this level throughout the season, then I think for sure, like, he's in that conversation.
I don't know why people talk about Jason Tatum like he's Paul George. It's very interesting.
I'm tired of these keyboard warriors. Mr. Income, come in the fucking chat building because you just said D Mitch is even less of a playmaker than Tatum. He definitely gets tunnel vision at times. He gets tunnel vision, yes. But who's a better playmaker, D Mitch or
he can-
Tatum?
I'm not. He's
I think
always
it's Mitchell.
better passer than he gets
D.
credit
Mitch?
for, in my opinion.
I think it's D Mitch easily.
I think it's D Mitch too. So what are we doing? Like, what
I
are we
think Donovan
doing?
Mitchell's playmaking gets underrated a lot.
It does. Donovan Mitchell is a very good passer.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Because he
think
scores so
so.
much, so people forget about it.
I think it's
100%.
because he doesn't have the craziest assist numbers. Because there's a lot of players who score a lot and they don't get this level of playmaking disrespect as Donovan Mitchell does. Like
Right.
I think he's clearly a better playmaker than like a Devin Booker, but for some reason that's seen as like a hot take. I don't know why, but I just think.
You think he's better than Devin
looking
Booker?
He's better than Devin Booker.
I think they're like the same tier of player. Whichever one you want to take, I don't really care.
Yeah,
I think they're the two
right
best.
Hey. But yeah, I want to talk real quick about the winning bias that we that y'all were talking about earlier.
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of that is like the guy said before. It's a little bit kind of like based off the player you talking about and like narratives and different things like that. One thing I like to see is like when a player like come into the league, most players they experience a time where they perform like not like where they should be, like similar to how last year with Jason Tatum in the finals, he struggled with different things that the Warriors threw at him defensively. Does that mean he's like a playoff choker or anything like that? No, but if I see him improve on those things when he goes to the playoffs and you see that same defense and he plays a lot better. But let's say Jaylen Brown gets hurt or he doesn't win a championship. Does that make him less of a player? I don't believe so. And like I would kind of, if I were to do like an all-time ranking, I would move him up because I see how much better he gotten that he sustained that. Not necessarily because he got better and he won a championship because of it. Because circumstances, just everything you gotta to win a championship, you have to be good in everything, but it requires a little bit of luck too. And sometimes, like you'll get unlucky. So, like winning bias, you gotta apply all the context. That's why it's important to go back and watch these games. Like if you have NBA League Pass, you can go back and watch like every NBA Finals from like 2000 to now. If you can find some stream, some website where you can go back and watch these players that you look at, because stats don't tell a whole story. And why this player lost doesn't mean they suck. Like it's a lot of things that you have to go through in the context that you got to apply. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say. Like
So
we got to watch these games though. We can't just say this player lost and this player won. That makes him better. Nah, you got to go watch.
What do y'all rank winning? So like for me personally, I don't use championships when it comes to like the top 10 players, because all of them have basically around the same level of success. It's it's no like Jordan got 6, Kobe 5, Magic 5, Bron 4. You know, they have the same around the same amount of rings. So it's really a useless argument. But like, if one player is able to win one against and they're around the same level of player that didn't win anything, doesn't the one that won kind of get that nod?
Like who? Like, give me two players you like. Compare one that won and one didn't, but they're similar.
Karl Malone and Dirk. Well, not similar, but Karl Malone and Dirk Nowitzki.
I think a lot. Just a better
Paul
player
Pierce and Mel.
I think Karl Malone's a better player as well, but people put Dirk Nowitzki a lot of times over him because of a ring. I think that's a wrong thing to do.
I think they put Dirk over Karl Malone because
For the other
Karl
reason.
Malone. Yeah, that's why I don't rank.
I
Karl
just
Malone.
think Dirk's better.
Yeah. If you're looking at just a player, I'm choosing Karl Malone because I went back and I watched Karl Malone like in the playoffs, and even when he like faced the Bulls, like he had great playoff series, he had great regular seasons, he had like better longevity than Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki, he won a championship. Now he experienced his failure and he got better, which is important. But overall as a player, I think it's Malone easily. If I were to rank Malone, I would pick him over Dirk, even though Dirk has that chip.
I think Dirk's a better scorer than Karl Malone, by the way, but that's about it. I think longevity is Karl Malone, passing, playmaking Karl Malone, defense easily Karl Malone. I think you'd have to value that ring very highly from Dirk, which most people do. And
So
also
how much does their team have to play into this as well, though? Like
they both had great teams, Karl Malone and Dirk. I mean, Dirk.
That Dallas team
Dirk
was a great team that he won with.
But I think
it was a very good team. I think the best teams Dirk had was the ones he was losing with.
Yes.
I think the best teams Dirk had were the ones he was losing with. He just
I think the Steve Nash team was a lot better than the team that.
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
In 2003, if Dirk doesn't get hurt, they probably win that.
Y'all gonna call me nasty, bro. I really think that 2011 team was fucking official.
And it's
not like
I
think
a very good team.
That was a complete team.
And
like
they didn't.
No one expected them to win though, but
nobody expected them to win because of star power. But when we were dialed in and look at
nobody expected them. I didn't expect them to get through the Western Conference.
Yo, but they had a great collection of guys, and that's a perfect representation of it being a team dynamic. You had a lot of guys know their role and fulfill their role to the highest level. Tyson Chandler playing defense, Jason Kidd being.
I'm gonna be objective a little bit. When you look at every like championship, like if you go back last year, you look at why the Warriors won a championship. The first thing you'll say is like Steph Curry. The year before that, the first thing you'll say is Giannis. When you look at the 2011 championship, the first thing you're not gonna say Dirk. You're gonna say LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe why I don't value that very strongly, because I think like with LeBron was a choke job.
If LeBron was like LeBron, he wouldn't have won.
But if they run that entire playoffs again,
not gonna lie, I'm with you.
Does Dallas get through that run every single time?
Yeah, I mean they would.
I mean that's a hypothetical. I don't know. But
I think they get through it every single time.
Dominant. They were pretty dominant. Like they swept the Lakers, and the Lakers just won 4. So
they swept the Lakers. I mean, I think they could have beat OKC. I think OKC was too young of a team. And who was the last one they faced? I forget.
They played Portland, LA, right? And
they played Portland, LA. Thunder.
So they
I don't think they beat Miami if they play that series again. Like,
if LeBron is folding like that, I'll bet all my fucking money that a lot of people gonna beat him. You know, I mean, he was just, and that's where I agree with Desto. I agree with Desto wholeheartedly. Like when I look at that ring, I look at more of it as a choke job than Dirk Nowitzki. You know, overcoming this crazy supporting cast, and that's just how I feel.
And when we talk about like Karl Malone, like. When Karl Malone lost to the Bulls, Karl Malone was still playing at like an extremely high level. You look at Dirk. Dirk was playing good versus the Heat, but he wasn't playing like all time.
Oh nah, he was fucking us up. I gotta give that to him.
I think it was game 3 maybe or game 2. Dirk Nowitzki was like crazy.
No, he was good. He was really good, but it wasn't like I don't know. I went back and I watched it a few times, and I'm like, okay, Dirk was really good. He deserved Finals MVP. You know, he deserved this, but it wasn't like.
It wasn't like an all-time great finals performance.
That's what I'm saying. And even and even when I look at Carmelo when he lost to the Bulls, you can say Carmelo performed at a high level in a losing effort versus Dirk in a winning effort.
Going up against a stacked ass defense too.
And having that point guard who wouldn't look at the rim.
Hey man, you gotta pipe down on Stockton a little.
So everybody
If
says
he looked at the rim, they
that.
could've won.
The main reason that OKC lost to Miami, right?
Mars is Stockton top 10.
It's because they were younger, right? It was like a young KD and all of them.
I mean, it was the Heat was.
No, but I never hear anybody say.
Better.
I never hear anybody mention that the Thunder were like that. Dallas beat a young Thunder team. They add them to like, oh, they went through OKC and they went through Portland, they went through LA.
You know why you don't hear that? People they gonna try to find any way to discredit the Heat or LeBron or any type of thing.
I just think Miami was just a better team.
I think that series was closer than the 5 games suggest.
It was.
And I also think if OKC could make some threes, they could have won that series. But
or if James Harden,
I don't know what James Harden was doing, but if OKC could make
he's
some
a
threes,
folder,
that
Mars.
series
He's a
extended.
folder. He's a historic
not.
folder. I hate to say it, bro, but these are just the facts.
Yeah,
we
he
have
is
to
one of
say.
the biggest.
Okay.
He is one of the biggest like playoff
Yes.
droppers I've ever seen.
See, look, that's the thing though. Like, okay, that was Harden's first time in the finals. Yes, he underperformed greatly as a 6th man, but we seen Harden become better and better in the playoffs. He just got.
Well, y'all isolate if he has
my
one
issue
bad
is-
a bad game in the series, y'all are isolating that. But his overall numbers.
The overall
bad
numbers
in
is
any
fine.
series.
The
Harden had
overall
one good-
numbers is
Harden
like
had
that
one good-
because there's games where he plays high and then there's games he plays really low. It's a lot of inconsistencies with James Harden.
But
And that's
what
the
happens when
only
your
thing I'm
game
not
comes from shooting.
But everybody
that
has
threes.
inconsistencies though.
Not
Steph
like
has
James,
inconsistencies. Chris Paul has inconsistencies. I think Chris Paul's
Yeah,
inconsistencies are
it's-
worse
Not
than
like
James
Harden.
Harden.
especially in the
Not
playoffs
like
because
Harden.
playoffs you
Nah,
play.
I'd be willing to argue. I'd be willing to argue that James Harden is more inconsistent than both of those guys,
Then Chris
especially
Paul,
in the
as well.
postseason.
I don't
Even
think
Chris
Chris Paul's
Paul.
that inconsistent. I think he's pretty consistent.
he just
loses
never
a
gets
lot.
it done.
Yeah, he just loses
Like ever.
But I think he's but I think he's consistent.
There's been times when Chris Paul has
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I can't write those off.
We probably have to count it up with him and Harden, but I think with Harden it's a bit overblown because just of the fact that he played like the Warriors a lot of times. And he lost to them.
I think Mars was saying it hitting on money. What were you saying, Mars?
Well, you have to tell me what I
James
started
Harden,
saying.
the James Harden inconsistencies.
Oh yeah, when you take that when you're a player like James Harden, your offense is predicated on shooting threes. You're gonna have a lot of like inefficient nights. Steph Curry has the same issues, which is why every final series Steph has, you'll find one game where he looks like he played terribly. You got 2015 game 2, like the 5 for 23 game.
Game 5 last year.
2016, I mean, okay, the whole series 2016. 2017 game 3 wasn't great. The game 4 wasn't great, the one they lost. 2018 game 3, 2019 game 6, I think wasn't great. There was another game that wasn't great. And then 2022, you got the game 5 where he missed 9 threes. And in a small sample size of a series, which is 4 to 7 games, those one games can drag down your averages astronomically. It doesn't mean you're a terrible player throughout the whole series, but if you have 25, 25, 25, 10, 25, now all of a sudden your averages go from looking like you're a 25-point per game scorer to maybe you're like a 21-point per game scorer because you had the one game that was really bad. It brings down your average, which is why I like to use larger sample sizes because sample sizes of single series, like Jimmy Butler's like a key person for this. People think Jimmy Butler's this all-time playoff riser. He's just as up and down in the regular season as in the playoffs, except the 40-point games in the regular season, there's like 6 a season, maybe. And because there's 82 games, the averages are like around 21. When those happen in the playoffs, because there's less games in between, now he's averaging like 25. It doesn't mean he naturally got better. It means A, in the playoffs, you take a larger loads when you're the star man. And B, when there's less games, the bigger explosions are going to take a bigger impact on your stats overall, which is why I try to like look at playoff numbers over more than 1 year sample size, especially over one series. One series sample sizes to me are terrible because then you're trying to judge players on 7 games at most. And I'm like, come on.
Even
like,
some of
what
the
are we doing?
like when I'm reviewing, stats and playoff series, I check the game by game, mainly because I think sometimes playoff numbers could be skewed off of a guy can have a crazy ass game 6, but for game 1, 2, and 3 he was ass, but for game 5 and game 6 he was amazing. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of the times it could be skewed like that. So me looking into what happened game by game, I think is a more accurate representation of that. Which is why I hate when people was like, oh well, this guy in this playoff series has this and that, but then when you look in those games, it's like you can see that a lot of the times he was really underperforming.
And it's important to watch those games as well, because like numbers collide too. Like even if they're like below, like let's say a player was in foul trouble, or let's say Giannis in the books blow a team out so he doesn't have to score that much. Does that mean the player in the next playoff series that's scoring 35 a game better than Giannis? Absolutely not. You gotta watch it to judge it well.
100%. Eye test is the most important test. Remember that, fellas. Yo, appreciate y'all for being around here, bro. We gonna get a new string of guests on, bro. Enjoyed the b-ball
Appreciate
talks. Y'all be easy, man. Peace.
All right.
We gonna open up with one of these super chats, man. What's good, fellas? What's good, fellas? How y'all
What's up,
doing?
man?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's
Chilling,
up?
bro.
What up? What up?
Good, man. Good. Yo, we got a super chat from Aaron Butter. Who will be the most forgettable star in this generation? I think that's an amazing question.
Ow.
What do we consider a star? Like top 10 player?
Like basically, I'm guessing he's saying like a Paul George, where he's a star in this league, but over time, since he didn't do enough, a lot of people just write him off. A lot of people spamming DeMar DeRozan is a good example of that. So that's 2 people down already.
People
So is
better
there?
forget
I
DeMar
feel like Jalen Brown. I don't know why.
Jalen Brown's a star?
Ooh,
A star.
Damn, taking it that far?
I think he's a star, but then now we're looking at like top 25 players, and I'm like, I was trying to think
He's
of,
not
like,
no top 25.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Like, if it was like top 20, top 25 to start a season or something like that, then I don't know, man. Like, I ain't really looking at him as a star. I look at him as like a good player. He's an all-star. Yeah, that's exactly. So
I
ain't
got
really
another
looking
one.
at him as a star.
I got another one. I would say
Who
Ja.
that?
If Ja don't win the ring, I feel like Ja would be that.
Whoa.
I really feel like Ja would be that. If Ja
Pump the
don't win
brakes,
the ring,
come on, bruh.
You said Ja?
I don't think you can forget someone
Hold
who's
on.
that
You
prevalent
know what
on
it is
highlights.
when he said
yeah,
Ja.
he's too much in the media. He
Yeah,
can't be.
he's too much of
Whoa,
a
you
highlight guy
pushing
for
it.
people
You
to
pushing
forget.
You know what
man.
it was? You know what it was when he said Ja? The only person I could think about is D Rose in that situation, because I tried to see where he was going with it. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, Ja's a little bit wild, out of control, so he could get sporadic.
right now, yeah,
Man
he
said
is.
Ja.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
Come on, man.
Right now, he everywhere, but in a couple years, nah, I don't even
see.
feel like
I don't see him
in 5
bouncing
years,
around.
people not even in 3
I don't
years.
see
I don't
him-
even think people talking about D Rose like that. To be real,
They still talk about D Rose to this day.
Because D
they
Rose
do.
didn't have a
They
long
do.
career.
But
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, the D Rose still the name.
D
Still
Rose will
is
never be
somewhat
forgotten. D Rose will never be forgotten ever.
just because he
When you win an MVP, you're gonna go down in history.
Yeah.
That
You
is
can't
that
forget
is a
someone who
fact.
wins
That
an
is a
MVP.
fact. That is a fact. I mean,
Which is
feel
why I
like
think Embiid could be forgotten about, because that guy just keeps coming second.
Oh,
And if you
That's
don't
a
win
good
a
one.
if
You
you
gotta
don't
pump
if you
the
don't win
brakes
a
up.
title,
Embiid is a good one. Embiid is a good one. I would go with I probably would go with Paul George, but I feel like his position is going to get like a lot more athletic. Like it's going to be a lot more 6'10", 6'11", 4s, 3s, like a lot more 6'9", 2s, like coming in the league, because we about to get Vic in like another year. So
True.
I don't know what the hell going to happen, man. This shit going to be wingspan. This shit is going to be wingspanned out. If you ain't got long, lanky motherfuckers on your team, bro, like you shit out of luck. So,
I hear you.
But
A lot of people spamming Bradley Beal. I got
someone
Jimmy
said
Yeah,
Butler.
Dame.
that could, yeah.
Someone said
yeah,
Dame. I think Dame's a good one.
Dame's
Bradley.
I
I feel
don't
like
know
Beal.
about
nobody
Dame.
gonna forget about
Man.
Dame. because he was too loyal. He was just
What
like
about John Wall? Hold
true.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, since y'all threw Bradley
Yep.
in
John
there,
Wall's
we
a
got to John.
People
John
forget
That
was
was
about him
damn near
now.
yeah, we
already been
forgot to
forgotten.
even.
Yeah, John was damn near already been forgotten. Like no one
Yeah.
talks about
John
prime
He was so
Wall.
Bradley.
good, we already forgot about him, to be honest.
What about
I
John
forgot he
Wall,
playing the damn
Carl
Clippers.
Anthony
DeMarcus
Towns, bro?
Cousins has been
Like
forgotten. Like prime Boogie's been
True.
forgotten about.
Towns, I
Yeah.
think he
Because
gonna
of
be forgotten.
injuries, that's why. It's really because of injuries why people really forget about DeMarcus
I'm not
Cousins.
gonna lie, you might be right with the Towns, what you got? You might be right. If
God,
if,
he is a stink show, bro. Like
if
I
nothing
swear
don't
to God.
Mars, I told your ass about. I can't wait till we're on. I can't wait till we're on Sunday, bro. I
Carl
got a
Anthony
root.
no, I
Towns.
I
am
got a
high
Rudy
on the
Gobert
Timberwolves
agenda.
though. I
Carl
am
Anthony
high
How
on
Towns
is
the
ain't
Rudy
getting it, bro.
Gobert the agenda?
Cause I told you he
he's
wasn't
not
gonna
the
fix
problem.
this team.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, the defense looks good with him on the court, but that's cool. The
Yeah,
team, the
Mars, I
issue isn't
was
Rudy
with you with
Gobert.
that.
The issue
Yeah.
isn't Rudy. The
Their
issue to
their
me is
offense
their
is
guards and Karl Anthony
horrible.
Towns. In my
And
Hey,
you
opinion,
know you
D'Angelo
want to know
Russell is
something?
trash, by the way. Like I'm D'Angelo
Oh
Russell.
yeah,
Is
It's
trash.
hard to
he's been
watch.
playing
I can't watch
terrible.
their
Nah, yeah,
offense, bro.
D'Lo ain't cutting it neither, bro. Like I feel like D'Lo is
Yeah,
he
D-Lo
got.
is the problem. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like D'Lo got the speed of a 5, bro, and he's at the 1, bro. Like I'm like, nah, he ain't getting it. That ain't getting it done, bro. But I
The
will
reason
say
they
this.
got D'Lo was because he's friends with Cat. I think that's the only reason why they really got D'Lo, because they're that tight. Like they're cool together.
Exactly.
Other than that, you're not seeing the other team trying to pick up D'Lo. But this offense is horrible. It is a shit show.
Yeah.
I watched a
Very.
couple games. It's like Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert setting the
I
pick
was
and
high
rolling to
on
the
them
rim.
because
I'm like, what the
I
fuck
thought
are
they was
y'all
gonna run
doing?
pick and rolls with D'Lo and Rudy.
I thought they was gonna run pick and rolls with Cat and Rudy, like because like if you look at the first game they came out, they was just throwing Rudy everything, bro. Yo, get down there, go get the ball, go get the lob, and that's that.
Really,
But
like
he's
they're banking on trying to win now, and it seemed like you gave around 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. Donovan Mitchell didn't even go for that much. Like
I tell you, I will say this, Mars. The scale right now, bro, is that they got to make the play in because if they don't, that means Utah got a chance at Vic. Then the way that they playing, like the
Can
way
y'all
that they playing right now.
Wait, think about it like this: out of everybody from Utah, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, who's the one struggling right now? Rudy Gobert, which shows y'all the common
expected
denominator.
Donovan Mitchell to succeed in Cleveland because that is a team that fits around his play style. Utah didn't fit around his play style. He's around some young niggas, and they're gonna run. They're more athletic. They got I ain't gonna say they got as much shooters, but damn, he got a point guard around his age who can facilitate, who
He's
can
the
get off his
shooter.
own shot. Like
This
I've
is
always
all
felt in
facts.
Utah, Donovan Mitchell never got a fair chance where a team is built around him. Yeah, you can go sign a couple people, but it ain't no young people around him. Like nobody who's going to jump out the gym. You got an Evelyn Mobley, a Jared Allen. Like he has a supporting cast, a better supporting cast than he had in Utah. And I feel like this is the time where people want to give him his flowers now because he's succeeding. Like, damn, what was this when he was in Utah? Like you carrying all this burden. The offense ran through him, and the offense somewhat ran through him in Cleveland. But at least he could have somebody. All right, Darius Garland, go do your thing. All right, Karis LeVert, go do your thing. In Utah, who did you have that go do their own thing?
And that's why Mars. I think you talked about this on the show when we was talking about Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell about playing off ball. I even told you that like sometimes in whichever situation you're a part of, you have to do whatever you have to do. And on the Utah Jazz, I think he had no other choice but to be that ball dominant player. You know what I mean? And now he's on a team where he doesn't have to.
That and they built around Devin Booker. Utah didn't.
Mm.
They're putting young, fresh legs around Devin Booker. You didn't see that with Donovan Mitchell
Nah,
in Utah.
they was building around. They was trying their best to build around. That's why they got a Mike Conley to help alleviate some of the playmaking responsibilities. They was building around Donovan Mitchell. They just didn't do that good of a job of it.
They really didn't build around Rudy Gobert, if we want to be real. They
How can you build around him? How can you build around him?
Give him good defenders and you build around him. That's what you need.
But you need offensive players because he can't score for shit.
No, you can build around both. You can build around Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. By giving Donovan Mitchell a Mike Conley type secondary playmaker, secondary ball handler, and then the rest of the team just needs to be 3-and-D guys. That's it.
I don't think the team Utah got now is Rudy Gobert could play with. And I got a nasty take in a few minutes, but
No,
I'm
their
gonna let
defense
y'all
still
rock.
isn't. Their defense still isn't great because you have Larry Markkinen at the 4 next to
The
Rudy
defense
Gobert.
ain't that great. They just making all their shots.
Good.
They really
Exactly.
just making all
They
their
just
shots.
really got shooters that can shoot.
They just making hella shots. They
Hey,
making hella shots.
But they couldn't play that. They
They
couldn't play
making
that way
hella
with
shots.
Rudy. They couldn't play that way with Rudy though. We'll say
They
that.
ain't
they
got
couldn't
shit
play
to
that way
lose.
with
That's why
Rudy.
they playing like that. They ain't got shit to lose.
Is
They
Kelly
ain't got shit to
Olynyk?
lose.
Is
It's
Kelly
easy.
Olynyk better than Rudy Gobert?
Better
I
Donovan
don't
also
know.
didn't.
What?
Say,
Oh hell
is Kelly Olynyk better than Rudy
Kelly
Gobert?
Olynyk.
Offensively, he is.
Yeah, offensively, of course.
I mean, Kelly Olynyk looking better than Cat the way he's
I
playing
mean,
right
when
now.
you can shoot,
Kelly
shooting can take you a
Olynyk
long
looking
way.
better than a lot of motherfuckers
Kelly
right
Olynyk
now, bro. Like
for Bam right now. Fuck it.
Kelly Olynyk is doing the dance right now, bro. Like, are you kidding me?
Bro,
Yeah,
Larry
he
Markkinen,
can't
Shoot,
Duncan.
shooting
miss.
takes you so far in this league. If you can shoot shit, you can be on any damn team.
That's a
And Rudy
fact.
Gobert
These
ain't
are
got
all
that.
facts. And while we on the subject, bro, I really want to get at
Donovan
Utah.
Mitchell also trying harder on defense and stuff though. He playing harder than
Who?
I
Donovan
mean, he has
Mitchell.
more people around him that can defend.
I
Got
mean, when
to.
you got two big ass bodies back there, I mean, he ain't got to worry about nothing.
Nah, he's like, it's not even like, I don't like that argument where, oh yeah, he got two big ass bodies. You got to try harder. I see him literally
Putting in effort.
wanting to take the matchup
You
up
can see the
guarding the
effort.
JT.
Yeah,
Wanting to,
you can
yeah,
see the
wanting.
you can see the effort, but it's always that you can count on the two big guys back there if you do get beat. So you also got that
I
to
see
lean
That
on,
is
but you
true.
can't lean on it
I
too
see
much.
that point.
You know
Yep,
what I
yep.
mean?
I
With
see
the
that point.
Jazz, it was just all right. Gobert's back there. That's the only person we got. Cleveland, you got Jared Allen, a rim protector, and you got Evan Mobley who can guard literally 1
Hey,
through 5, and that's something that they
yo,
didn't have in
what's the
Utah.
Cavs start lineup right now? Because I know Garland ain't playing. Garland been out for a
Garland
minute,
is
right?
playing.
Yeah, they
Garland's
run.
playing. He came back.
Yeah, Garland came back.
It's
Let me,
Garland, Mitch, LeVert.
Running Donovan Mitchell.
yeah, let me see their starting lineup
Yo,
when
who
Garland
was
was.
that running out the three when Garland was out?
Harris LeVert.
What's his name? Dean Wade.
Oh yeah, Dean Wade and said
Hey, am I chopping?
Yeah, you're chopping a lot, bro. So if you was saying some stuff like we haven't been hearing it, yeah, you have been
because
chopping. Yo, join up. We
I'm gonna
dropping
join
this
on
link
my
too.
phone,
Join up.
man.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. That's no problem.
Yeah, but Dean Wade, wasn't they
I'm gonna
playing
join
him
up on my
last
phone.
year?
I'm finna go outside and get away.
Got you. No problem, bro. No
They
problem.
was playing Dean Wade last year, right? When it was him, Larry Markkinen, Darius Garland.
They was running Laurie at small
So-
forward.
But I don't think he was getting as much playing time as he is now that Lauri Markkinen is gone.
Lauri Markkinen was getting PT. What's going on right now when when Garland was out, I'm looking at this Wizards game. They had Okoro start, but then they had Osman in there a bit, D Wade in there a bit. Kevin Love got some PT as well, so they was really just changing the lineup a lot. They were changing the lineup a lot.
They took Okoro out the rotation.
I think yes, he is so bad off.
Yeah, he can't score.
Oh
he's like Fireball to me. He's like Fireball. He's like the
It's
same
like wow, if he could shoot. I'm saying the Cleveland Cavaliers can be a good team with LeVert on the bench because that's what he is a bench player, and you need that spark. But Okoro, I see why they start LeVert because Okoro is ass. That nigga is so horrible offensively. Defensively, yeah, he give you a
They
little
had
something.
Wade.
Offensively,
They had Wade and Osman in there a lot. Yep.
The switch topics real quick, bro. Yo, I watched the Utah Jazz game the other night against the Hawks. I was highly impressed. I was highly impressed. I was highly impressed. Nah, yo, Dub, hear me out. Yo, they went into the third quarter. They had at least a 3-5 minute drought at towards the end of the third quarter where they didn't score. DeJounte Murray is picking them apart off the switch, getting Larry Markkinen on the switch. You got Trey switching them off the switch, taking them off the switch. The fourth quarter starts. Mike Conley put up, I think, like 6 or 7, 8 assists in like the last 5 minutes. Yo, I'm thinking this game was over because Atlanta had the first. They had a 10-point lead going into the third, and they were still doing a good job rebounding. Capella, I think Capella had like about 15 rebounds, and somehow, some way, these Utah niggas,
They get hot.
God.
They get hot, bro, and that's the and like you said Mike Conley 7-8 assists, it's so free flowing because all of these guys can get a bucket. All of
Hey,
them.
yo. And the crazy thing is, it's not, when you got 4 to 6 dudes that can get hot, and Malik Beasley is shooting out of his mind. I'm like, what the fuck?
Timberwolves are dumb. Timberwolves are stupid.
10 games.
Timberwolves are stupid. They
Oh,
gave away their
that's-
3-point shooting for what?
I'm like,
They didn't give away. They
hit-
gave away
yo.
defense. They gave away defense. That's what they gave
They
away.
gave away
3-point shooting.
was
Like
the-
Malik Beasley was their 3-point shooter.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they really have issues like shooting. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know the
The
numbers
spacing
like
is
that.
bad.
The
Look,
spacing is
right
pretty
now.
bad. Yeah,
I put
yeah.
it to you this way: to get more in detail about Utah, bro. Listen, they got a solid 10-man rotation. I already said before the season, Walker Kessler was basically Rudy Gobert with a jump shot. That's what he was. Like, I'm like, you got Walker Kessler who could go off for 10 and 12 points. You got Rudy. You got Beasley. You got Colin Sexton, who's a nut, but he could go off for damn points. Listen. Don't be surprised if this team mess around and win at least 1 or 2 playoff series this year, bro.
Oh no,
I'm
they ain't
telling
going
y'all
that
right
far.
now.
What? You pushing
telling
it.
you.
You pushing it.
Don't be
You
surprised,
pushing
bro.
it.
What?
You
Call
I'm with
me
you.
crazy.
I'm with you, bro.
Crazy.
I'm with you, bro.
You pushing it. Hold on. I'm gonna name
Salute
my
up.
team. Hold on. Let me name some
Salute
teams.
up, bro. I'm with you
Let me
right
name
now,
some
bro.
teams. Let me name some teams they will have to see.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You out of pocket with that one. That's wild.
Hey, Leaf. I'm with you, bro. Salute up. Like Geno Smith. They wrote him off.
He pushing it.
They wrote him off.
He pushing it.
They're not impressing me. They're still bad at
All
their
right.
jobs.
At the trade deadline, we're gonna be wondering how this team tricked us. I promise.
They ain't got the team to beat anybody at the playoffs. Let me just be
Hey,
honest with you.
listen. I hope y'all right. Listen. I listen. I hope y'all right, bro. But everybody say for the NBA's sake, bro.
Think about it. If the West gets better and they fall to like a 6 or 7, they're gonna play like who? The Warriors or the Phoenix? You think they're gonna beat Phoenix or Golden State?
I ain't gonna lie. They getting dog.
They got Phoenix and Golden
They're
State
not
next
making
week.
the playoffs.
They're not making the play. They're just
making the
they're
playoffs.
doing a bad job at tanking right now. That's all it is. They're just bad.
25 games straight eventually.
Here's the thing, Mars. I don't think they're trying to tank because they got the Timberwolves pick this year. 1. 2, the only player that they got up for a contract is Jordan Clarkson, who got a player option for $14 million after this year.
He gonna opt
And
out.
3, he probably gonna opt out and go get some bread. Yeah, of course. But 3, after that, somehow the Timberwolves just fuck the dope up, bro, and they fall underneath the 10th spot. Now they got a solid chance at Vic. So you basically got the same team coming in the next year.
He said Vic. I know.
I'm like,
Vic. He said Vic, man.
Oh, okay,
I'm like,
cool.
these niggas is about to be loaded. I'm like,
I was about to put you in the tight zoom, bro. You a wild boy, bro. Oh my god.
You wild, man.
Dang.
Hey, yo, listen.
The Jazz won't even make the playoffs.
Crazy, bro. Listen, I don't think they will, but if they keep playing this way, bro,
You know
if these motherfuckers keep shooting the lights out of the ball in the fourth, they figuring out how to win games.
I'm doubling down, bro. I'm doubling down. I don't give a fuck, bro. They making the playoffs. This is one of the best This is one of the best team-oriented basketballs I've seen, bro.
Who's not gonna make it then if they get in?
The Lakers. The Lakers are
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves
No, even with the so he said the Timberwolves. I knew the Lakers weren't gonna make it this year. I wouldn't even count them. But even if the Lakers don't make it,
I think the Pelicans. I think we can take the Pelicans out.
The Warriors.
By the way, Zion Williamson is very overrated.
No, I'm not even gonna say Zion.
Overrated.
I'm off Zion. I'm so off Zion.
Nigga said I'm off Zion.
I'm not even on Zion. It's just
I was just talking about, but
like Brandon Ingram. To me, Brandon Ingram is a better player. I don't
think Zion is meant to carry a team. That's all that is, bro. Like I'm like in terms of that. I agree with you.
I just don't
when I watch Zion, it's the same. He's going left. He hasn't added anything to his game. You've been out for a year.
You might want to
He's
add a
been
little
hurt
things
though. I'm
instead.
not gonna lie. That's not. I mean, he's been hurt. So how can
He
he
was
add
just
on
trying
his
to
He's been
game?
play.
hurt, so
Hold
he
on,
can't even
trying to
make.
play
So he
the
still can't make a
playoffs.
right-hand layup. Like you can practice.
Oh,
layup.
okay. I can see that. I can see that. I can see
Like, I'm
that.
not saying he has to come back with a bag, but
He
make
was
a
just trying to
right-handed
play in the
layup. is
play-in
safe.
last year. I mean, he said a right-hand layup.
Yeah, okay. Y'all got me there. I'm just
It's
saying.
left.
He was
All
talking
right,
about adding
look.
to his back. He's been hurt, going through therapy and rehab. It's
All
like
right,
it's
hold
tough
up.
to add on your bag.
To
Did a
defend, he's trying to
360
play in the
between the legs,
play-in.
and he's
Dude.
been hurt.
Hold on, hear me out. I gotta defend Zion for a minute. I gotta defend the fat boy, bro. Listen, if they can't nobody, they ain't proving that they can guard you by taking away your number one option. You're playing A.
Wait till postseason. Wait till
Wait till
the
the play-
real open-minded
They don't
coach
want to bang
realize
with you,
that.
and they don't want to do all that banging in the regular season. Wait till
Wait,
when it
the
means something.
postseason,
You don't banging
yes.
at all. The league don't bang no more. Like he the only player that's bang in the playoffs. We just seen KD get banged all the way up. Pause. Nah, but KD is frail, bro. This is a nigga that is 20 years old and weigh like 280 something, bro. Like, and it's like 10% body fat. And when he moving, what happened to Giannis when they built the wall on Giannis for them few years?
You haven't seen anything that
Giannis
Zion
is
added to
another
like
different
make
story.
the defense guess. You already know where he's going.
Exactly. It's not like like with KD. At least you know there's many spots on the floor he's trying to get
With
to. Zion's
Giannis.
just trying to get to his left hand. That's all you have to
With
do. Just sit
Giannis,
on his
like,
left hand.
I don't think nah. See, hear me out. I don't think that's what Zion is used for. I think that's what I think what Ingram is used for. That's what he used for. Now you got CJ, and then you got other players on that team and chipping for everything else. In terms of like pick and roll and laying in the dunk box and like getting the one bouncing, taking one player to the rim, there's nobody standing in
You
Zion's
need
way.
something different because if I see somebody setting a screen for Zion, I'm gonna play drop because I'm daring him to shoot the
play
ball.
drop play.
Like, I'm daring you to shoot, Zion. Like he needs. I'm not telling him to go between the legs, dribble, and shoot, but add something to keep the defense guessing. He's not keeping the defense guessing if we know where he's going every time.
And he's still terrible defensively as well. By the way.
Add a post game.
Did you? Oh my God! I forgot who crossed him up, but it was bad.
He's atrocious defensively. I watched him try to step out on Trey Young, and he did nothing.
That's Trey Young.
No. Man, that's Trey
Yeah,
Young.
I'm not expecting him to stay in front of Trey Young. He literally just stepped out and just
He got
watched him
crossed
walk
by
past.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant crossed him as well. Jeremy Grant had like 27.
I was watching that game for a reason. He got crossed by Jeremy Grant. Come on, man.
He can't play defense. He's terrible in defense.
Listen,
he's a good blocker. Like when it comes to them, you know, send it to the stands. But other than that, what am I really counting on?
Listen, I put it to you like this: Zion's ability is his ability, and that's that, bro. Like, look, I say it like this: I don't like the way Zion walk. I don't like the way he land. I don't like the way he run. I don't like listen, he scares the shit out of me. Everything about he waddle up the court, bro. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
He's really a big dummy. That's crazy.
He's big.
He is wide, bro. That motherfucker is wide body, bro. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Get this nigga right. But hey, he look. That's an offensive lineman right there. I said we'll make a great defensive tackle. Jerry McCoy.
I know Zion can do it.
He would be amazing in that
sport.
That
nigga Jerry McCoy. That's foul, bro.
Hey, you all agree that Siakam's better than Zion, right? Like we're all on the same page.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Siakam doing some shit I ain't never seen him do before.
Toronto ain't going that far though.
But not.
If that Toronto team had another star, if they can get a star somehow.
Yeah.
But you're giving up. Who are you giving up to get a star?
Not a star yet.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first. Toronto first round exit, bro. They ain't beating nobody.
Well, all right. Well,
if they play Chicago, they'll beat them.
Yeah, I got the standings right now. So
that's about it.
I got the standings right now. You got Milwaukee 1, Cleveland 2, Boston 3, Atlanta 4, Toronto 5, Wizards 6, Bulls 7, Pacers 8. I mean, I think they could. They could beat a lot of. I'm just saying they could beat a lot of guys. You have the Sixers who are out of the contention, but that could turn itself around. But I think they could beat. They could beat anybody.
I think they could beat. Hot take.
All right, can we refrain from talking about the Sixers for the rest of this session, bro? Like I don't.
I wasn't high on them anyway.
Nah,
Yeah, I
even know why.
was. I
Like,
was. I was just
Crazy.
wrong. I was just
nah,
wrong.
bro.
I
Listen,
was
bro,
never
I
high
like.
on the Sixers.
I was
I
high
live
on
in
them
Their
only
defense is
because
horrible. Their defense is horrible.
I live in Brooklyn, bro. Like, and I don't even believe in the Nets like that, bro. Like, listen, I'm like, all right, it is what it is. Let's just focus on the new
Got too
portion of
much
the
shit
East.
going on. Like they can't really focus on basketball. But Philly,
Yeah, Philly
Philly
ain't got an
that's
excuse. Yeah.
That Philly is a total joke, bro.
Nets
Like,
got
I
so
yeah,
much bullshit is like they can't.
they can't
I'm
even
off
focus
them.
on
I'm off
basketball.
them. Yeah,
sorry.
they can't. It's too much bullshit. But
I was reading something. This guy he was saying he was like they're 29th and getting the rebound when it's on their side of the ball, so they give up so many second chance points. They're 0%
I seen
on
that
loose
shit.
ball. Like
With
that's
Joel
I
bad.
seen
Embiid.
that shit. I
you
seen
guys
that
think
shit.
they're trying to get
Embiid.
Doc fired?
I think they are. Somebody told me that. Like somebody told me that last year around this time. They was like, "Yo,
You gotta
they try."
look at
That
Philly.
sound like some
Could
tick.
have
That
got
sound like
Doc
some.
fired if he wanted
You
Doc
really
fired.
got to look at Philly from the
Up.
inside. Like who is their GM? Daryl Morey. Who is their point guard?
Could have
James
got him
Harden.
fired
They
if
just
they
picked
wanted
up
him
Daniel
fired.
House and PJ Tucker.
They
Who
gonna
you
pick
think if
Dan
Doc
Tony.
Rivers get fired, who they gonna pick up?
Dan Tony. They're gonna get Dan Tony.
Hey yo,
Exactly.
hey Dub.
Want
I
him out of there.
guarantee you, Dub. I guarantee you, if you ask Ticket that shit, bro, he'll tell you I said that shit like a year ago. What? I
Ticket
guarantee you.
Ticket be saying everything. So it's
Yeah,
like
Ticket be saying everything, bro.
so it's like you say everything and then you're like, I told you so. It's like you say everything under the sun. So like of course you told us so. You told us everything.
Yeah,
Just run cash cow, ain't it?
Ticket be putting shit out that you don't even know about, and then a year ago you go back to the shit like a year back, and then you be like, oh yo, he did say that. I'm like, all right,
Ticket
bro.
be I'm not gonna lie, I think Ticket's reliable in that inside conspiracy scoop shit. He's really good with that. I love hearing him talks about that. Like he was talking about the Draymond Green incident, the Ime Udoka incidents.
I mean, you
Hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. But I think Draymond and Poole situation hasn't died down, and I think that's what's really affecting their play. Like
I just don't think Poole.
I think you can't come back.
Poole was never
You
that guy.
You can't come back from some shit like that. Like he cleaned his ass. Like I don't see how I can be cool with somebody after they just did that to me, and that makes me feel some type of way that he's still here, and that I gotta go on the court and play with him. Like that's something that I think it's still
Poole was never that
affecting them
guy.
and the team.
Hey yo, I was looking at the show the other day. Mars is 100% right. That motherfucker Jordan Poole is Kentucky Fried Chicken on defense, bro. Like yo, that shit don't make no sense, bro.
It's so surprising.
Oh,
He's never been.
I mean, he's never
Yeah,
been
why?
good
Yeah,
defensively. He got quick hands, but other than that,
Logan,
somebody,
I think Logan hit it. I think Logan. What were you saying?
I said, why is it surprising that Jordan Poole is fried chicken on defense? Like he was never like what we've always seen him. He's never been a defender. Even in college, he wasn't a good defender. So I was never expecting Jordan Poole to ever be a defender, an average defender, even on Steph Curry.
That's
level.
true.
I wasn't
quick hands. I give him that. He got quick hands. But other than that, like
true.
But standing in
What
front of
I'm
the defender,
surprised
it's
of,
done.
He don't try though. There's a difference between being a bad defender and not trying.
That's
you don't think Jordan Poole's trying at all?
Be a good defender if he tried.
Like it. It don't look like it.
And do you think that's because of Draymond?
What I'm surprised at, man.
I just think that's his DNA. Just like he's never been it's all buckets to him. That's all he
Well,
knows.
Never a defender.
That's all they need. They don't need him to do nothing else. Like,
But he don't get buckets like that. He don't.
That's why
To me, he a ball hog.
Those guys into 3-and-D wings. That's why they got.
Playmaking and Jordan
What
Poole
I'm
don't belong in the same
surprised
sentence.
I'm surprised at is how much they
still
go
going.
at.
The Warriors are the Warriors. They're gonna figure this shit out. But it is what it
Surprised
is.
that, and not to point it out, Mars, man, but you could probably correct me if I'm right about this. Is the way they attack Klay now. They attack Klay with reckless abandon. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, they don't give a shit about Klay Thompson. I'm like, this is. They attack him.
He's fell off.
He's a
what can I
fraud.
say?
Man, he had two major injuries. What you expect? He's not gonna be the same. He's not.
Yeah, back to back.
No one's expecting him to be the same, but we can say he's not the same without us trying to just say we're disrespecting.
No, I know.
I
understand.
Yeah, I hate the narrative of giving more time and stuff. You playing, you got to produce. I know you just came off an injury and
He had a
But
whole off season and he played a postseason. I
But
don't
yeah,
think we can even
like
y'all
say
was
that
talking about.
anymore.
Like
yeah.
that's what was crazy to me. Where they're coming into a new season, and I'm like, what the fuck is Klay? Like, it's like how's
I
he?
expected him. I that's why I agree with Max. I can't give you the you got to give him time when he played a postseason. He had a full off season. I mean, now it's like you should be resemble more to who you are, what you were before. But now it's more of the same of what he was doing last season. It's like I guess this is who he is now, and
He been
it's
on that
sad.
It's
damn boat. He been on that
worse.
damn boat all summer instead of in the
Not
gym and
the
shit.
all NBA level defender anymore, man.
Been
He's
on the
never
damn boat instead of the gym.
why y'all expecting
That
that out of
nigga
Klay
been on the
Thompson.
boat.
What you say, Logan?
Oh
Why
man.
y'all expect Klay Thompson to be an all NBA level defender after an ACL tear and an Achilles tear? Like, why are we expecting
We
to get back
we
to
don't expect that, but we expect to see. All right, Klay, there you
Cause
go.
that's what he was. I mean, we
Flashes.
got
before
that
when
was
he
what
was
he was.
coming off 2 major injuries that end people's careers?
I,
Like,
I'm gonna say this with the medicine they got out. We expecting Klay to be 17,
oh my
18
goodness,
points,
have to
three
stop that.
three
Y'all have to
assists,
stop that. Y'all have
three.
to stop that, man.
Where's Euro?
Y'all have
Where's
Yo,
Euro?
it's just not about the
Yo,
medicine.
Leaf,
It's
y'all have
Leaf,
to
about
let me ask you
Purdue.
this. Leaf, let me ask you this. How long you been watching the show?
You-
How long all you guys been watching the show, actually?
I've
I've
been
been
watching
watching
for
the show
about a
over
year
a month
I've been
now.
watching y'all
I've
for
been
about a
watching
year.
it for y'all for over a month now. Like
Ah,
solid for
Nasty
over a
ass
month.
takes, I know that. Especially you, Dub.
love you.
Year and a half.
But I
Like this
gotta ask.
year, but I done watched every episode.
I appreciate, we definitely appreciate everybody who watches our show. Like, it's really
Be so
loving,
calm
bro.
when Ticket
Appreciate
be
it
the
for
yellow
real.
Mars just be sitting
Y'all
there
should have,
like,
only thing I didn't like was the thumbnail on this show, man. Like you should have put Curry on that shit, man. Now don't put motherfucker.
Ah,
I'm trying to get into.
you're
You gotta
right.
put the topic. You gotta
We
put
should have
Curry on
put
that.
Curry. We should have
You
put
gotta put
Curry.
Curry
That's
on that, man. Don't
that's
come
what
you
we
said
on,
should
about
have
man.
done.
Kareem.
Like
Especially what you
leave
said about
Magic,
Kareem.
leave Magic, Kareem Malone, man. Like they come on, bro. That's in the past. That's before my time, bro. Like you gotta put Curry on that shit.
Bro,
So
I
what's
should
the
have put
agenda
Curry.
behind the winning buys? I was on my way home. I didn't get to hear when y'all first started.
Mars, you want to elaborate again?
I'll summarize.
We need to go something different.
We judge players to it's too basic in the fact that players will get ranked higher than other players because they won a series or they beat one player head to head in the playoffs, or they made it further in their career than the other person did. Like, for example, we spoke about Karl Malone and Dirk Nowitzki. People rank Dirk Nowitzki higher simply because he won the title, or James Harden, Allen Iverson. Some people rank Allen Iverson higher because he made the finals and James Harden didn't. Like, there's too much access to watching games and to all the numbers and to how much basketball we all consume to still be ranking players with these basic measures. Like, we've come too far to be ranking players the way they did in the 60s when they were just saying Bill Russell's the best because he won. Like, we've come a lot further than that to still be using those old narratives.
Well, what do y'all got Karl Malone and Dirk on y'all list?
I don't rank Karl Malone because he's a pedophile.
It's not bad. It's
I'm
not
just
a
saying though,
bad way to look at it. Like,
Hold on.
But it's like levels
I got
to it
Karl.
though. You
I
can
got
use
Karl.
winning in
But he's
some
better
levels.
than Dirk Nowitzki.
I got Karl over Dirk. I think he's 17 for me.
I got Dirk over Karl, and let me explain why. Like it ain't got nothing to do with the championship, bro. Like I got Dirk over Karl simply because I respect what Karl Malone and John Stockton, what they did for 19 straight years in Utah, like in terms of longevity, and they was basically the Spurs without a championship. Basically, like
stop. Nope, I can't do it. Not about to compare Karl Malone.
You ain't let me finish.
No, we're not about to do that, bro.
Let me finish.
Hold on. I actually want to hear him. I actually want to hear him.
Hold on,
bro. Keep going.
In terms of what they brought, in terms of like they stats and everything, and the longevity, bro. Like Stockton and Malone, bro, they meshed so well for 19 years, from 1984, I think, to 2003. Like outside of the championships, they was basically something like the Spurs. They made the playoffs every year. You know what I'm saying? Same coach, right? Same coach, same system, same everything, but they just didn't win no championship. So only thing I respect from them is their longevity.
Get him, Logan.
That's the only thing I respect from them. You can get me on that, man, but that's the only thing I give them over here. Hold Hold on. Well, now I got Dirk over Karl Malone just because of skill set. In terms of all right, yo, Dirk developed the fadeaway. And Dirk figured out how to like play within the team defensive structure and everything. When they had Tyson Chandler, I think they had who else they had on that team? Sean Marion. I don't even think Caron Butler played. We ain't even mentioned that.
Caron Butler was there. Jason Terry, Jason Kidd,
Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, Deshaun Stevenson. I think who else they had? They had Haywood. They had a whole bunch of motherfuckers. So I think it was Miami. Haywood coming off the bench or something like that. I don't remember, but when that year, I would say Miami had the better cast, the better team in terms of being top heavy. But I say Dallas had the better game plan.
Get him, Lil.
Get him, bro. I'll understand.
I say Dallas had the better game plan. That's all.
Now, when you say that Dirk was when Karl Malone was a better skill player than Dirk, okay, I'll give you that because he was. Only thing he wasn't better than Dirk at was scoring to me. I
get that. I grant that.
To compare that Utah Jazz teams with him and John Stockton to the Spurs
without a championship,
they only got past the first round like one time, man. One time they got past.
No, they remember they lost to the Western Conference. They lost in the Western Conference to Phoenix the year they had Barkley, right?
All right, my bad. 2 years out of 19, they only made it past the first.
It was a couple of times.
They lost in the conference finals to Hakeem.
Did they?
They lost the conference finals to Hakeem.
Yeah, because that year Hakeem won. I think was it 95?
95.
I remember
they lost to
I thought
they lost to Hakeem for sure.
I don't know the full thing. I gotta go to
They lost to the Sonics also.
They lost to the Sonics in the conference finals. They came at like it was like
the Sonics. So you're gonna tell me that the Sonics were better than Jazz team?
96.
That you tell. So yeah, we're ranking Karl Malone as a top 3 power forward all time, playing on one of the best teams. You're comparing to the Spurs. They were supposed to beat the Supersonics.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't go back that far, bro.
The best team win a 7-game series.
You can't see that.
One.
All I'm trying to tell you, bro, is that all I could tell you is that they were close in the 90s. They were close a lot more years than a lot of people remember. You know
I think they made the conference finals 5 times out of like the 10 in the 90s.
Like 5 or 6 times.
And then they got bounced out in the first round as well. There was
a couple first round exits, and then they made the conference finals.
But to compare them to the Spurs, though,
that's
kind of heavy.
I don't think he directly comparing them. It's just a similarity. I don't think he directly comparing them.
He didn't say the whole thing. I said without a championship in terms of what they done in the regular season, like they was almost like the Spurs in terms of their consistency of getting to the playoffs.
But that's
like,
not,
it was
bro.
19
Don't
years.
just compare everybody to the regular season. Bro.
I think y'all over.
That's the only thing I could think of, bro. Because I can't think of another team.
Clippers.
The
Jazz was
the Jazz
every year.
Rudy Gobert and
the Jazz.
Hold on.
Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
Grizzlies. The Grizzlies is more comparable.
No. I'm talking about a span of like going towards 2 decades. This is from the 80s going into the 90s to the early 2000s with Karl Malone and Stockton was playing together.
Oh, and that's switching to Chris Webber and them, right? Oh no, that was the Kings. Oh shit. I'm sorry.
He said I'm sorry. He messed me up just now, but in terms of them. For as many years as they kept making the playoffs, like in the 80s, I admit they was out of there in the first, second round, boom. But in the 90s, they was competing a lot. They was like the 4th team left, like conference finals every now and again. They lost to Hakeem one year. They lost to the Sonics one year. They lost to Barkley
1 year.
Didn't they lose to Barkley? I think the Barkley
year. They lost to Seattle in the Western Conference Finals. They lost to Jordan in 97. Then they
And
lost
Jordan
to
in '98.
Yeah, they lost to the Rockets. What year they lost to the Rockets?
they
That was
lost to
95.
94, I think.
94. Okay, all right. So, but
94. They lost to the they lost to the they lost to the Rockets 94. They beat
I think
the
they lost
Spurs.
to the Rockets in 95 as well, but that was the
okay.
first round when the Rockets were at 60.
When Jordan
they
retired in
first.
'99, who they lost to? Who they lost to that year in '99?
They lost to Portland, the Jailblazers. Like, come on,
The
man.
Jailblazers. Yeah, right. They lost to that team. Yep, no, I remember that because they lost in the second round, and I think the Spurs swept them. So,
I'm sorry,
but I'm just talking in terms of their consistency of like competing and
Yeah, I
going
think
to
we're
the
taking it too
playoffs.
literal.
Yeah, you might be.
Y'all taking it too
Yeah, he's
literal.
not saying they were a dynasty. He's not saying they were a
That's
dynasty.
I think a
they
more,
was a
I think a
dynasty,
more,
nah.
I think a more comparable thing is maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, maybe like the Los Angeles Clippers.
yeah.
Dub, get what I'm saying? For 19
I know what
years,
you're
though.
saying. I
But
know.
you only made the finals 2 times. What, 3 times?
You trying to compare the Spurs to the Jazz? It's hard for
comparing
me.
the Spurs to the
You
Jazz.
saying they're
He
competitive,
not
but
literally comparing them, bro. Y'all
He's
taking
not.
it too
He's
literal.
not. He's
I'm
saying.
comparing. Y'all taking it too
taking
far.
it too
Y'all,
literally.
come on, like
It was
I'm
just
not comparing them.
it was supposed
It's
to
the
hang over
longevity.
y'all head.
He's
It
saying
wasn't
making the
supposed to
I'm
playoffs
just
that
the long.
consistently for that long is Spurs-esque. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
Similarity.
That's
You're not
all I'm saying.
But that's like saying that the Spurs were just regular season teams. That's just going as far as to say that. Like, you're just calling the Spurs.
No,
No, he's
I'm
saying
making
the
the playoffs.
longevity.
This is
The
This
longevity.
is why I eliminated the title. See, I got to be careful what I say on here, bro. Because I know everybody gonna pick it apart. That's why I said, yo, eliminate the championships, bro. Like, to me, for 19 straight years, you could almost like they was basically like the San Antonio Spurs in terms of getting to the playoffs. That's all. That's all I was saying, bro. Like,
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna.
I think your
All right,
problem.
back to the
I'm gonna agree with
winning
that.
bias.
Jordan, you lagging. Jordan, you lagging a bit. What was you saying?
So,
Good, bro.
I said I agree with his argument, but his semantics is the problem. Like he uses Spurs, like in a joking way, you can compare him to like Chris Paul teams. Like they're always good in the regular season, but in the postseason,
I
something's gonna
did
happen.
see that.
They might get to the
he
finals,
was trying to
but
say the
as
Spurs. If he
far
said
as
somebody else, yeah.
I
if he
did
said
see
somebody
y'all
else, y'all would be
taking
cool with the
I
argument.
don't
But the
know.
problem is
I
he said the
like
Spurs, and y'all think
That's
championships.
what I'm
So
the
that's
problem.
the
Yeah, the
problem.
I
problem
think
is
those Jazz
competitive,
teams
but
played well in the playoffs. I think they just lost to the
better
teams
teams.
quite
yeah,
often.
they just lost to
Yeah.
better teams. That's all.
Like their defense in the playoffs in like the mid to late 90s, like they were very good and their offense was pretty good.
I say
John
if not
Stockton didn't look at the rim, but
most of the '90s, bro, like they was pretty
It's
solid
just
team
John
up and down.
Stockton that fucked them up. I swear on
give
everything.
them Chris Paul instead of John Stockton, they have rings.
They went.
Oh,
They went.
yo.
I
Oh
promise
my
you.
They
God.
was
They win a
championship
championship.
worthy,
Yo,
as
come
If you
y'all
on,
give them,
say.
yo.
if you give them
promise
Gary
you.
Payton instead of John Stockton, they win.
Hey, please.
You give them
When
GP,
you have a
Give them any
guy,
point guard who will look at the rim and they would win
Dub,
championships.
why did you do
Yeah.
that, Dub? Come on.
well, John,
Because it's a fact.
I agree with Mars on this John Stockton shit. Not more
John
so
is not
towards
that
the
good, bro.
playmaking aspect, but the way I look
He's
at
not
it,
that good,
I
bro.
look at it as John Stockton is I think there's a lot of series where they lost because of your scoring deficiencies,
For sure.
and I just that's the main reason why I knock him. You had a fucking Karl Malone, son, with a great ass defense.
Weird ass nigga.
And don't get me wrong, there's not every single time where there's a handful of times where he did show up scoring wise, but there's more times than not where they lost because of his scoring deficiencies. But all the blame gets on who? All the blame of not fucking being excellent is on who? Is on the better player, Karl Malone. Why?
I think
Why?
that's because
Why?
Karl Malone is a pig, bro. Like according to the young
Nah,
generation.
one,
As far as the
Karl
young
Malone is a
generation,
bozo.
bro.
You're right, yeah.
But
He a bozo,
Karl
bro.
Malone
Like,
in the
yeah, come on.
'97 and the '98 finals, Karl Malone averaged like 27 and 12, and John Stockton averaged 9 and 9. And Karl Malone gets major blame for that series because he's a weirdo. But as far as players,
and because
it's
Jordan
clear
took
who
it
the better
away.
player
Everybody,
was.
the turnover, because the turnover. Let's not forget that.
Okay,
the turnover was bad, but I mean,
they
lost that series because Phil Jackson, in my opinion, was able to adjust the defense simply because they knew John Stockton wasn't a threat to score the ball, and they were able to borderline illegal defense damn near every possession. If you want to watch that series, Jerry Sloan is complaining every possession because the Bulls are basically like they're bordering on illegal defense, and John Stockton's lack of threat to score or willingness to score is the reason why that was able to work, because they're able to load up on Karl Malone on the
I
catch,
mean,
which
but,
other
all
teams
right,
couldn't
but
do, and that
okay, all
limited
right,
the
but
whole
question,
offense.
question, real quick. Back then, like the point guard, like point guards back then, like was bringing the ball up, Magic Johnson style and shit. Man, you could play on 90 feet and all that. It was like that was like the tail end of the hand check era. My thing is like, what other like I agree with Mars, bro. Like Stockton was as conservative gets.
Yeah.
My thing is just like, yo, at that time in the playoffs, bro, what point guard was like really like doing the damage and like being like the add-on?
You could have
Gary
gave
Because
Payton.
All of them.
At least Gary
GP was
Payton
a
was
threat to
putting up.
score. Was Sean Kemp.
GP was.
Magic was a threat to score in the 80s after Kareem diminished. Isaiah was a threat to score on the Bad Boys.
Broad
Oh yeah,
Terry
Strickland.
Porter was a
Isaiah
threat
definitely.
to score on the Blazers.
Even
Rod
Kevin
Strickland.
Johnson with Charles Barkley was a threat
All
to
of
score.
them
Like,
except
these
for
guys are
Stockton
threats
was
to
a threat
score.
to score.
Right.
All of
Penny
them.
Hardaway.
Penny was a
Penny
threat to
Hardaway for
score.
sure.
Okay.
All of
And
them were threats to score.
we're not saying John Stockton needs to be 25 a game. It's like you need to
Be like Rondo.
It's
At least
similar
look
to
at the
Draymond
basket.
Green.
Play style
Like,
though.
Draymond Green becomes a liability when he doesn't look
Okay.
at the rim.
Whoever
I
just
can't
Like
fault
you
him
need
'cause
to
Okay,
you need to at least be willing to put the ball
all
in the
right.
basket.
I get what all of y'all are saying, but now we going to that who that Bulls team had. Didn't they, if I'm not
ZBT.
mistaken, didn't they have
It's not even
Ron
about the
Harper one of
Bulls
them runs?
It's
series,
not just
though.
about the
It's not
Bulls.
even.
It's
It's not
against
even.
everybody
It's
they
about.
lost to.
It's about a lot of the times with John Stockton, his career. This is a pattern with him. That's his
Yeah.
pattern. He's a guy who's maybe too conservative, not aggressive enough, or he just doesn't have it.
Think
And
about it
that's
like
what we
this.
highlight. Go ahead, Jordan.
With the ideal play that you think of when you think of Stockton and Malone is the pick and roll, right? And the purpose of pick and roll is to have multiple options that can come out of the pick and roll that can lead to a basket. If John Stockton has the ball in pick and roll, you know Karl Malone's getting the ball. You only have one scoring option because John Stockton's not going to look at the rim. So that's easy to game plan for if that's your go-to play as far as going in the playoffs. That's why the Rockets beat them. That's why the Sonics beat them.
But
That's
the
why
purpose,
the Suns beat them. That's why the Bulls beat them. Is because you only had one ideal threat to score, and everybody else was just playing off of him, and John Stockton was just distributing to everybody else.
the purpose of the Jazz pick and roll was to get Karl Malone open though.
But now that I look back at it, they wouldn't have went to the finals had it not been for that Stockton shot over that Charles Barkley defense.
You see what happens when he's aggressive?
He wasn't
They win.
aggressive score. He was left open.
He had 25 in the game and they won. Whenever he's not aggressive,
open.
they lose. If he played like that for 20 years, they'd have a ring. They beat the Spurs.
You can't fault him, though. You gotta fault the coach.
But that's not everybody's game, though.
Yeah,
that's not the coach.
That's not his game. But when we're comparing him to other players, we're gonna bring it up.
Everybody,
It's a
this is the
deficiency.
thing. Everybody wants somebody to do something different, but that's not their game. How you gonna expect them to play aggressive when that's not their game?
No,
like
but
if
see,
he's a
that's the thing.
passer,
we're
he's a
not
passer.
we're not expecting. We can talk about a player's weaknesses. Like LeBron James is a weak free throw shooter. We know he'd be better if he was a good free throw shooter.
He had the
We're talking
record by
about how
now.
he could have been a better player. John Stockton could have been better and could have had more success if he was able to be a more aggressive or a better scorer. It's not about
I think
he should
like
have
LeBron
changed.
had
We
the
don't know
record
if he
by
had the
now.
ability, but
What
he
Yeah,
would
I
have
get
been
what you're
better
saying,
if
but
he
he
did.
doesn't. But looking from his perspective, he probably didn't need to be aggressive if he already got a score right here.
They probably
All he
didn't
gotta
want
do is
him
get
to
the
be
ball.
aggressive. The coach probably didn't want him to be aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's not
That's
do
what
that
makes him
because that's the
better.
same. Let me
There's
tell you
different
why. Let me tell
factors
you.
for
That's the
different
same. I
situations.
remember there was some talking points about Rudy Gobert and them not being willing to feed Rudy Gobert. And people were like, I remember this was a little narrative for a short time. They were like, well, you got to start feeding him, especially when he has a mismatch. But then when we looked at the time, he had the mismatch. The dude don't know what the fuck he's doing. I mean, even though the coach is drawing
That's
that
a
up,
different
he's drawing that up
situation.
for a reason. He's
But
drawing
that's
it up for a reason. He doesn't have it.
that's Rudy though. He never was. He
I
was never
understand it's Rudy, but
Okay.
pay attention to the situation I'm trying to compare.
I get what
Even though like you guys are saying it's coaching, so they're not asking that for him. They're not asking that from him for a reason. It's because he just doesn't have it.
He doesn't have the
But it's the
capability.
difference from
I think
do a post move and being asked to jump shot. Like
But when he was aggressive, we seen what he could do though. That's the point.
it's different
But
with John Stockton
but
and Rudy
it's
Gobert
but the
because
thing
John
is
Stockton had the
the
ball.
thing is
Yeah,
with John
John Stockton
Stockton.
got the ball.
But the thing is with John Stockton, are you gonna have that aggression? Ben Simmons, perfectly. Nobody's gonna say Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
He's not
That's
aggressive because
this
of
coach and
coaching. He's not aggressive because that's who he is.
But we've
These
seen
players have the ability to score the ball. They just choose
aggressive
not
though.
to.
Seen him take over.
Bean's not aggressive because he's scared of the free throw line.
Like
You can say that, but John Stockton has to. You got to hold
Man, that
accountability
shit.
for John
I'm
Stockton
tired
and
of
his
hearing
lack of
that free throw
aggressiveness.
line bullshit. I'm tired
Can
of
I say
hearing
something real
that
quick?
shit. Y'all,
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Bean did just come off a back surgery, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give
Ben's
Clay
not
two.
healthy.
I was talking about
Give
past.
Clay 2
This
years.
season is different. This season is different. I'm talking
Okay,
about in the past.
but look, like old boy said, like comparing them to the Spurs, they had 19 consecutive years of being a playoff team. Regardless of whose fault it is, there is a reason that you all cannot reach the hump if you are that good for that long. And at that point, you have to
Nah,
you have to
you could be
nitpick.
middle
You
of
have
the
to
road
look
for
at the
that long,
problem.
though.
They weren't middle of the road though. They was
Middle of
making
the road
conference
team and
finals.
not be a championship team.
They
They were
weren't.
making
They
finals
weren't,
and
but they
conference
weren't.
finals.
The
They weren't a
Pacers
middle of
weren't.
the road team.
The
They
Pacers
weren't a
for
middle of the road
years
team.
made the playoffs, but nobody expected them to win it, so we can't say that.
But
Yeah,
they
but
took
the
LeBron. They
Jazz
took
weren't the
Get over the
Pacers.
hump.
best.
They
The
weren't a
Jazz
middle of the
weren't.
road
The
team.
Jazz weren't the
They were better than the
Pacers.
Pacers.
The Jazz were
The
contenders for like a decade.
but the Pacers never had. Yeah, the
Who is
Pacers.
the hump? What is the
Yeah.
hump? How big is the hump? We're not talking about a little speed
MJ.
It's
bump.
winning the
Who
finals.
is the hump?
They
MJ.
always came. They always came close.
Yeah.
There wasn't many series where they were just clearly outplayed and got
Getting
swept. There wasn't
cooked.
many
They
series
always
where that
lost in
happened.
6 or 7. It was never
It
a
was
5
the hump.
or
It was
4
the
game
hump
series.
for a whole decade. It was Jordan. It had to
That's
be.
what I'm
Like,
saying. No, but look.
I
They
mean,
didn't just
even when
lose to
Jordan
Jordan
wasn't
though.
there,
That's the
they lost.
thing.
They
They
lost to
didn't
the
just
Rockets
lose
2
to
straight
Jordan.
years.
They
But
lost a
They
better.
didn't just
No.
lose to
What
Jordan.
time didn't they lose to a better team?
Didn't they lose to a better team?
Oh my god.
I mean, I
don't
think the best team. I think
the
the best team
Stockton.
wins the series. But I'm saying I don't think they would have been the worst team if they had an aggressive scoring point guard. I
Who
think
was the
that was
team
that
that they?
was
Who
the
was the
undoing.
team that they should have beat?
I
I
think
think
they
they
could
should.
have.
I think they should have won in '98. I genuinely believe they should have won in
I
'98.
think
That
they
was
should have
Jordan
won.
and a hurt Scotty. They should have
I
won in
think.
98.
I think
I
they
believe
should
they
have
should
won
have
in
won in
90.
Seattle.
I think they should have
They
won
should
in
have beat Seattle.
94
It's
against the
Jordan.
I think
Rockets.
94 was fair. I think they should have won. I think they could have won 94.
They should have won
I
in
think
95. They were the higher
94
seed.
against the Rockets.
95.
They went
They,
to
it was,
5
they
games.
yeah,
And that
95.
it
They
was
lost to
5-game
Houston as
series.
well, and Houston was a 6
In the
seed.
first
They lost to
round.
Houston
And
in
they
the
had, yeah. Who
96.
else?
You could argue they should have beat Seattle.
They
I
should
think
have beat Seattle.
that's either
Yeah,
the
96.
There was many years
'Cause
where they were losing to teams where you're like they could have won that
They
series.
could have beat
and
that. They
that's
could
the
have won
point.
that series.
That's everybody.
But like what I was saying, as far as like when you're good for that long, you have to nitpick on your players, and you can't. It's on the coach and the player. You can't just allow your players to be content. If you really want to be them guys, if you want to be championship contenders, after like year 12, it's like, all right, John, you done averaged 12 and 12 on one turnover for like 6 straight years now. Can you like look at the rim? Can we try to figure something out? Can you shoot the ball? You put up 25 in that game 6 where you hit the game winner against Hakeem in 97. If we could get that performance out of you, not even every game, half of the series, I promise you we would have a championship right now. If you were more aggressive in your passing and your scoring, because as far as passing, he's a basic passer, and as far as
They would have
scoring,
had a
he's
better
not looking at
wing.
the
They
rim.
could have won.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I think in the 90s, I don't think they was thinking that far ahead. I think they was thinking about like because when Stockton broke the all-time assist record, bro, that was like the highlight of like anything that Utah was ever doing. You know what I'm saying? Like to
Not
me,
really
I
much
think
to
they was just
celebrate if you never won a chip.
Okay, but look,
it wasn't, but at the same time, it's Utah, bro. Like I don't think they fans
Yeah. A small
at no point
franchise.
was
I
thinking
feel it.
it was a small franchise. I don't think they fans was ever like on the over the fence about. I'm like, yo, we gonna win the chip this year, except for maybe '98. I'm like, I never thought that, bro. Like I thought they was always a good team, like kind of like the Pacers, but the Pacers didn't have Karl Malone.
okay,
They
but
didn't have
look,
nobody
look,
like Karl Malone. So like I'm thinking like.
look real quick. So you said like for the 90s, the mindset was not for the point guard to be that aggressive. And I get you, completely facts. But if you look at the best player on every championship team throughout that decade, there is outside of 94, there is a complementary secondary star that is contributing in the scoring and facilitating role. You got Pippen, and in 95, you got Clyde Hakeem. Those guys are averaging 19 to 22 every year because they're looking to score and they're looking to facilitate outside of the main guy being Jordan, Hakeem, and in the Jazz case, Malone. So if John Stockton can fill that role and just put up 17 and 13, I promise you they win at least one championship.
That's not
at
his
least
game.
one.
Like I was saying before, that's not his game. That's not
that wasn't his
everyone's
game.
Would you
game.
say the same thing
Like
about Ben Simmons?
you say, what about him?
Or
Ben
You said that's
Simmons,
not
I
his game to score when he's in Brooklyn.
is
That's not his
part of
game.
the best club.
Like people try to say, all right, if he would have scored more, all right, cool, he would have scored more. But what is that? How is that going to benefit him? That's not his game. You
I
talking
don't.
about Ben
I'm like,
Simmons scoring?
and we
That's
don't.
not Ben Simmons' game.
So,
Scoring is not Ben Simmons'
Hold
game.
on.
We all know that he can't shoot a
Him.
fucking jump shot. He can't hit a free throw.
Hold on.
But we count on your defense and your playmaking. So with John Stockton, they counted on
Would
his
Ben would Ben
playmaking.
Simmons be a better player if he was more aggressive scoring the ball?
yes, we know he could
Yes.
be better player.
But
That's
that's
not
what
That's
what I'm saying. You have to
simply what it
nitpick
comes
at
down
these
to.
weaknesses,
Would
even
he
if it's
be a
not your
better
game.
player if he was willing
At
to
this,
score the ball? Yes,
John
he would.
Stockton
That's the
would
same
be a
thing for
better
John
player if he
Stockton.
scoring right. If John Stockton,
It's not about him
but we see
change.
to look
Like,
at much
it's
different.
cool.
who
There's ways to be
scored.
better.
I would go as far
None
as
of
saying
them
this.
scored.
I don't think that it's not that it was John Stockton's game. I just don't think that's what John Stockton was brought up to do. Like I think that's the difference between making it your game and that what you being brought up to do. John Stockton was 6'1" with 190 something pounds, bro. Like I mean, like as opposed to like Ben Simmons, like where the game is more wide open. Back then, you had to play traditional. Everything was like one primary position. You played the point guard, you played the point guard. You played the two, you played the two, you played the three, and so on and so on. So
It's not like he was an
I
elite
think
sniper either. He having to
he
drive
shot.
down there with trees.
I mean,
Gotta
he
drive
didn't
and
shoot
dump
enough
it.
to be an elite sniper, but he shot about 40%. He didn't. Well, he
he
only
shot
shot.
about
So he didn't shoot
for
enough.
that
But
era, he was a sniper.
he
Yeah,
didn't
John
shoot enough.
Stockton had a
Yeah.
good jump shot, but the issue
yeah,
the,
so
Them
yeah.
many
John
threes.
the issue
John
was
John
outside of
Stockton.
transition, he wasn't looking to score the ball. That was the problem. That was
Yeah,
always the
outside of
problem. So
transition, yeah, definitely. Outside of transition, like that wasn't for him to do. And the thing is, a lot of them point guards, bro, like in them matchups in the '90s, man, the dudes that you named, Gary Payton, Kevin Johnson, and all those dudes in the West, he had a
Clamp.
hard time with them. Oh yeah,
The
he
clamp.
he had a hard time with them. He had his hands full with them. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
because they
say
were aggressive.
they were
On defense,
not only aggressive offensively, but they was also aggressive defensively because that was the style of play. It was like the Derrick. They call it the Derrick Harper era, bro, where you could like hand check and all that shit. When they really ended hand check early, that's all that bullshit. Whatever. But I think John Stockton, like the coaching staff, Jerry Sloan and all of them, they was held content on John Stockton being a facilitator, being like doing what he did best, like playing
And a
defense,
point
being
guard, a
facilitator.
traditional
Yeah,
point guard.
being the traditional of all traditional conservative point guards because he always made the conservative pass, he always made the conservative play, he always played very, very conservative. I think that's why they didn't win. I wouldn't use the term not being aggressive. I would say he just played more conservative than anything. I
He's
feel
a
like
fraud. You
aggressive.
don't have to
Saying he's
isn't
more
being
less aggressive in a different
conservative
game.
being conservative comes from a lack of aggression.
But like him scoring doesn't. We can't just say that him being aggressive wins the game.
He wasn't an aggressive playmaker either. He just
Yeah, he
No,
was.
he was conservative. Yeah, he was very
Yeah,
conservative.
I gotta address something. Listen, you keyboard warriors arguing about James Harden and Dwayne Wade.
bro,
They going crazy in the
Can
chat.
you
How was that
please
argument?
join
No,
up so that y'all can have
And
this
and
one
and
v
Harden,
one?
how was that even
I
an
want
Wade's
them.
better.
I'm
argument.
all for
wait,
them
what?
having this 1v1
What's
right
the
now. I'm
argument?
I
not
got
even gonna
Wade.
lie.
that an
I got
argument?
Wade.
What's the argument? That's what I
I
want to
got
know.
Wade either. I
Going
listen.
crazy in the chat. They
This
ain't
is
worried about
why.
nothing we talking about.
This is why.
Outside of
This is
chips, I
why.
still got
This
Wade.
is why we do this. If you guys have gripes with each other, y'all have beef with each other.
Chips?
We
Really?
gonna provide the platform for you guys who argue. You guys are
Outside of chips,
you're
yeah,
you're
Wade.
having your
And
Twitter fingers right now. Please
Oh,
join up.
crazy.
He said Harden
Dub and
and
Mars,
Wade
y'all
though.
did this because of y'all made up this term winning buys. Y'all started
Yeah.
this. What y'all
Right.
got
This
going
is
on
y'all
in chat?
did. This is
Y'all
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 fault.
made
Yeah.
y'all. This is
Because you
y'all offspring.
Exactly. You started
Y'all
this up,
offspring
Your
right
Dub,
fault.
here.
and you
It's
put
Them
the
your
wrong
started
fault.
some shit.
thumbnail.
Your fault.
Duh.
The
You
wrong
We
heard
talk.
thumbnail, bro.
I
title.
mean, it's pretty
Put the
easy to
wrong
argue.
thumbnail.
It's
Man,
pretty
watch
easy.
y'all. I
It's
done
pretty
started
easy
hearing
to argue
basketball
Dwayne
terms
Wade.
I never heard.
It's fairly easy to argue Dwayne Wade over
Man
over.
said,
You
I
put the
watched y'all
wrong
and heard
thumbnail,
basketball
Dub. You
terms I
supposed to
never
put
heard before.
Never heard. Winning
Curry.
by
It's
championship
very
caliber,
easy.
MVP
It's very
caliber.
easy to
Yeah,
argue who's a better
I
player.
feel
I
you.
love it.
Y'all approach the game totally different from other people. Like that's what I like about y'all. Like that's why I like watching y'all. Y'all look at it totally different from
Appreciate
anybody,
it. Who
especially
was
old heads. I hate when old heads try to bring in the older generation. I be like, pump the fuck down.
Calm
gotta
down.
respect
Come
it,
on
bro.
now. Hold up.
Come on
I
now.
gotta
You
chime.
gotta
I
respect
gotta
it,
chime
bro.
in. I
Oh,
gotta
you an
chime
old
in.
head. We got an old head here, right?
I gotta chime in. Nah. I'm not. I'm
I got a
34, bro.
question.
So I'm right in the
Whenever y'all
middle,
done,
bro.
I got a question.
He's still a
I'm
My
little
right in
bad.
the middle. Hold on. I'm right in the middle. So Dub, I see where Dub and Mars is coming from on a lot of the stuff that they were saying like over the past month with against Chilltown and all of them, man. And I see where Chilltown and everybody else is coming from. So I'm like kind of the mediator. What I say is, in terms of like the top 5 and everything, like I don't bring Kareem up. I don't bring Bill Russell up. To me, I think they ascended way past. They were they like Grand Zenos and Dragon Ball Super or some shit, bro. Like I don't put
That's
them.
a bad Dragon Ball Super episode. I'll tell you that.
That's a bad.
Really bad one.
Hey,
He said that's a bad one. Nah.
That's a filler episode.
Dub. The reason why I say that, bro, is because we got to start somewhere, bro. Like something, you know what I'm saying? So
It may be
my
the
thing.
movies that they bring out that's not canon. I'll give you that. It could be the movies that's dope to
Hey,
watch.
you
It
can
ain't the
say
real
that.
thing though. It ain't the
You can
real
say
thing.
that. You can say that. But as far as
That's
from
nasty,
my
bro. That's fucking nasty.
from my standpoint, just in terms of what because all we have is the myths and the legends of Wilt and Bill Russell and all of them.
So I'll
Like,
give you Wilt. We got Wilt as Frieza's brother.
You gotta
Wilt
stop.
is cooler.
You have to stop.
I think
Wilt
some of
is
them Wilt
cooler.
stories made up. I'm sorry to say it.
hell no.
Wilt is cooler.
Hell no.
Bill Russell. Let me think. Bill Russell's the Superman Namekian.
King Cole. That's Bill Russell's King Cole.
Bill Russell
That's
could
what
be
you.
King Cold,
Gotta chill,
and then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could be
bro.
Frieza. There we go. That's it.
Nah,
Perfect.
I think that, bro. We at least got to put them as Grand Prix, bro. Like, come on.
And
now.
not Golden Frieza. Not Golden Frieza. This regular Frieza.
We at least
Man,
got to
talking
put
about
them as
baby
Grand
Frieza
Dubs.
before he transformed. Oh my God,
Before he
that's
come into
Mars,
in
I'm
the
looking like
comics,
you
they
right
got
now,
black.
Mars. I don't know none of y'all
My
talking
bad.
about.
Man,
I'm looking
Hey,
like
but
Mars. I don't know
we
none
got
of
a
y'all
super
talking about.
chat. We got a super chat. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Quick question: would Larry Bird have the same level of success in today's era?
Hell
I
yeah.
think he would. I really
consider,
think.
I
I think
consider
Larry
like,
same.
for me,
yeah, I
he's
think
Get
Jokic.
drafted.
For me,
What you
he's
gotta say,
Jokic.
Mars? What you gotta say, Mars?
For me, Larry Bird is Jokic in today's game. That's how I view
Yeah,
him. Like to
just
me,
like
he's
his
that
younger
same.
days.
Okay. I give you that. I give you that. I give you that.
Simple question: if he got drafted two
He
picks
would,
back, would he be the
he
same
would
player?
thrive in this era.
You said who? What you say, Matt Max?
You can ask a simple question: if he got drafted 2 years, I mean 2 picks after he got drafted, would he be the same player? He got drafted into a great situation.
Oh,
okay.
I think Magic
So no,
Johnson
I
wouldn't
don't.
be the same player either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Both of them got drafted.
I
So
think
you
they're
got
the same player no matter what.
I'm saying, like, I don't
I think they always gonna be tied together, man. Like it's always gonna be that.
Wait, but let me ask y'all this about this
No,
winning
he
bias
said
shit.
successful, not as good. He said successful, meaning like I guess accolades and stuff.
Successful? No, he.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not winning 3 straight MVPs in this era.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not doing that.
Oh,
3 straight
nah,
MVPs.
he's
Y'all
not
think
doing
Magic would?
I ain't gonna lie, that's a stretch.
Successful.
Magic didn't even
good.
deserve some of the
That's
MVPs
a
he got
stretch.
in that time. So
Well, on
stretch.
that,
I feel.
on
But
that,
but the thing is, Mars though, like Mars, Magic did get snubbed for a couple of them years, from what I heard. But I mean, I can't really say
I'm not
nothing
sure
about
what
it.
year. I'm not sure what years Magic.
I can't
Johnson
really
would've got
say
snubbed.
nothing about it, man. Like
All I know is he
bring
didn't deserve the MVP in 1990. That's what.
Now I can't Magic. I ain't so sure about Magic in today's game.
Yeah, 99.
If we just
Ben
drop him in
Simmons with
there.
no defense. Ben Simmons
In the
with no
regular
defense.
season, yeah, but the postseason he wouldn't succeed. Like I give him that.
Yeah.
I think it would be
Hey,
harder
bro,
in the
you from
postseason
Kentucky?
for him to have that success than in the regular season.
fellas, that was a fire question we got off before we gotta go, man. Appreciate you guys for joining up, bro.
Oh, one more hot one. Hot one before I go, bro. Utah Jazz. Y'all heard it here first, bro. Utah Jazz is winning the West, bro.
Jazz, bro.
The
Utah
90s
Jazz
Jazz
is
are like the
winning the
Spurs,
West,
and
bro.
this
10
Jazz
and
are a
3.
dynasty now.
Utah Jazz is winning the West.
This is a
Man,
closet Jazz
don't
fan. This is
salute
a
that.
closet
Don't
Jazz fan.
salute
Yo,
that,
Dub,
bro.
send it.
The hell I come back
Dub,
to?
send them off.
I'm with you.
Utah
Stop
Jazz
making
winning the
up
West, man.
basketball
Y'all heard it here first,
Y'all
bro.
heard her
Come
here
on.
first. Utah
Y'all
Jazz
heard it
winning
here
the
first.
West.
I ain't saying
You
nothing
heard her?
else. Don't at me or nothing, bro.
Don't
Like,
add
yo,
them or nothing. I got both fucking hands up. Y'all
both
be
of
easy.
them. Let's get it.